Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about Rocket Money. It's the start of a new year. It's the perfect time to get organized, set your goals, prioritize what matters most. And for me, top priority is getting myself together here. Financial wellness, doing that, which that feels important, you know? Just feels like adult stuff that you have to do. And thanks to Rocket Money, my goals feel achievable now. They show me all my subscriptions in one place, help me easily cancel ones I forgot that I've been paying for, which happened to me. Absolutely happened to me. I had, for years, I was paying for something. I was like, what is going on here? Rocket Money found it and saved me lots of money since then, because it's been a while. So they did a great job here. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder today. That's rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder. rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hi, I'm Ashley Flowers, and if you're like me and grew up watching America's Most Wanted and reading Nancy Drew, then hi, you're a crime junkie. And I bet that passion for solving mysteries never went away, which is why we've assembled a team of reporters to dig deep into all the cases we still obsess over. Each Monday, my best friend Britt and I will bring you a case that you won't be able to stop thinking and talking about. So join us by listening to Crime Junkie wherever you listen to podcasts.
This week, in Logan, Ohio, the vicious murders of 2 local teens with body parts found scattered around a cornfield seems to be solved with the arrest of a perverted stepfather. But could there be someone even worse out there? Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Yay, indeed, Jimmy. Yay, indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today. I know this is a crazy case. We always try to listen to the whole thing, but this is one where I have to tell you, you need to hear it to the end. Don't say, oh, well, all wrapped up, turning it off now. Oh, my God, that's not wrapped up. There's such a big left hook coming. It's wild stuff. So before we get into that, quickly, just want to say, first of all, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com.
What's there?
Get your tickets to live shows. We cannot wait. The whole slate of 2023 live shows are on sale throughout the whole year. Get your tickets now because they're going fast. Boston sold out. Salt Lake City sold out. And those are in August and November. So get your tickets right now. Still seats available for Seattle, March 23rd and 4th. And also for Portland, we have 2 shows that night on the 25th of March. And so get your tickets. Those will be in one city, be 2 different shows. Yeah. So check those out.
Hurry up.
We are getting there. And also the 420 virtual live show, April 20th, and that's going to be available for 7 days after that as well. So you can buy it, watch it, do whatever you want with it for 7 days. And that is going to be so much fun, just like a regular live show where you're in your living room and Jimmy's going to be really, really stoned. and he laughs a lot when he's stoned, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Shutupandgivememurder.com is where you get that and all your merch and everything else like that. Patreon.com/crime in sports is where you get all the bonus material. $5 a month or above will get you the whole back catalog. Tons of episodes there to binge of bonus stuff, and then you get 2 new episodes every other week.
You do.
This week, what you're going to get, first of all, for crime and sports, you are going to get a crazy story. You think your team sucks in any sport? They don't suck like the 0-26 Tampa Bay Buccaneers when they first started, the 76-77. We're going to talk about how they started, why they lost so much, why they picked creamsicle uniforms with a homoerotic logo.
Yeah.
We'll figure it all out. We can't wait. It's going to be very fun. And then for small town murder, we're going to talk about, finally, so requested, Jodi Arias. We're going to get into some weird angles on Jodi Arias. Angles that she didn't even cover herself in all of her photography and
get
filming.
Inside her in so many different angles.
Oh man, there's many entrances to her psyche. That's the thing. So it'll be easy to climb in there and see what's up. We'll talk all about that and the craziness involved there. That is patreon.com/crime and sports, and you'll get a shout out at the end of the show. Jimmie will mispronounce your name. He'll try to get it right, but he won't. Keep your eyes out in a few weeks here. We have some other stuff. We had business stuff and some other stuff cooking, so we had a slight delay in the new show, but it is coming out. We cannot wait. Your stupid opinions. Keep your eyes out. Should be out in the next month and a half, something like that. We'll give you an exact date as we get a little bit closer. It's our new show where we talk about people's dumb reviews of everything on the play, everything that can be reviewed. We'll talk about, and it's a lot of fun because people, the reviews say way more about the reviewer than the thing they're reviewing.
Right.
So we will talk about all that. Quick disclaimer, it's a comedy show, everybody. We are comedians. This is a comedy show. Also, there is going to be horrible murder, but the way we do it is we do it tastefully, like 70s pornography, how they would pitch it to people. Tastefully, damn it. We do it tastefully. Now, honestly, we don't make fun of the victim or the victim's family.
Why, Jay?
Because, we're assholes. But we're not scumbags, and that's how that works. So if that sounds good to you, then good God, get on board. We're going to have a crazy time. If you think true crime and comedy should never go together, maybe we're not going to be friends. Maybe we will, though. You never know. Sometimes you like people you think you're going to hate. So there you go.
Like a mold.
We are. Or mold, either one. We're like either one of those. But I think it's time either way to clear the air a little bit here, clear your lungs out especially. Where are you right now? Where are you? I want to hear where you are. Let's say you're
uncomfortable.
You're the head chef in a busy kitchen. Yeah. The server just came up, asked to fire table 43. You throw his little receipt thing out of the window. You grab him by his collar and you say, "Shut up
and
give me murder." Let's do this, Jimmie, shall we?
Let's go.
Let's go on a trip. I cannot wait. We're going somewhere we've been before.
Oh.
And that is, we've only done this one other time. That was to Anniston, Alabama. And that was mainly on spite because somebody in their paper there chose to write a real nasty negative article. So we said, "Oh, okay, you want more?" So
we'll do it again.
Luckily they've shut up. But this is not we don't have a vendetta or anything against Logan, Ohio. It just happens to be they have 2 crazy murders that happen there at different times. So this is not that murder. It's not like, did they make a mistake? Are they doing the same one again? No. Logan, Ohio. It's in southeastern Ohio, about 50 minutes to Columbus. So down in that area, almost 3 hours to Cleveland, about 2.5 hours to Shawnee Township, which was our last episode. That was Grumpy Violent Old Men, which was a hilarious episode, by the way. Those 2 old guys fighting all the time. This is in Hocking County, area code 740. They don't really have a motto here from what I can find. So they're just, we're Logan. We're going to be on Small Town Murder twice. That's their logo. That's their motto. Twice on Small Town Murder, everybody.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people, an awful lot of murder. That's what the one I'm giving them here. So I'll go, since we've done this town before, we found a different thing to do and, throw some reviews in there. But otherwise, I'm not going to do too much on the history of it because we already talked about the history of it. So, matter of fact, let's go right to the reviews because we have a lot of show.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So, we've done,
we already know that it's named after Wolverine.
Exactly. It's from 2019, the Logan. If you're really interested in the Logan, Ohio history, go back and listen to the 2019 episode. So fucking 4 years ago it was. I think it was February 2019.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's 4 years ago. Doesn't
Wow.
seem like a lot, but it's an awful long time. So reviews
Holy
of this
shit.
town.
Yeah.
Let's find out what people think of it. And once again, not our reviews. We've never been to Logan, so we have no goddamn idea. It's what other people are saying. Here's 5 stars. I'm from Logan, okay? And I think it's a great place to live if you like to live, if like exercise. I think if you like is what they're trying to say.
Yeah.
If like exercise and outdoors, if that sounds like you, the Hocking Hills is right for you. I hope we get more tourists. Also, don't forget to visit frozen yogurt.
Okay.
Not to eat it. Just you got to go pay your respects. It's like you go to like a mob town back in the day. You got to go pay your respects to the Don. You go kiss the frozen yogurt's ring and you leave.
Pop into the froyo and do the sign of the cross and be on your way.
Pow. Well, they got the holy froyo too. You got to sprinkle on your baby's forehead. Holy melted
Run
froyo.
some banana TCVY down your face.
Yep. Here is some wild berry surprise. There we go. Excellent. That's what they're always called. Shit like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
So there's no punctuation, by the way, anywhere in that review. Not a single speck
obviously.
of it. Not a period.
The English is terrible.
Not a comma. Nothing. Here is 4 stars. I like the community and how helpful all the citizens are. All of them, apparently.
yeah.
Wow, that's
Every
great.
one of them.
The people, every one of them. The people of the town respect the community and continuously offer help for those in need. That's nice. The town comes together to help create a great environment for all ages, from helping build a new pool to donating money to be a field house open to the public.
Everybody's got to build the pool. Grab a shovel. We need a
I was
pool.
going to say, usually you got to know how to do that. That's not a...
I don't want just
like-
random ass citizens building the pool. I'm going to go jump in.
It seems like you should probably know how to build a pool, right? You
Got an 8-year-old out there doing rebar.
there's electricity in there and shit. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like you definitely need to know how that
Gotta
works.
make that shit
when you're mixing electricity and water, you should probably get someone who knows what they're doing. Is what I'm getting at. While I love the community spirit of all coming together to build the pool,
I'd really like
Let's be
that
realistic
light
here.
to be water sealed.
that would be terrific. Yeah, that's why I don't explode like our Patreon with the theme parks. So Logan is a beautiful community that has nice restaurants and several outside, I guess outside, not outdoor, activities. I wanted to say outdoor because that's what it would make sense as. And
That's the word.
my mouth tried to take it there, but it's outside activities for visitors or people in the community to do. So it's not just locals are banned from here. This is visitors only. Visitors and locals are allowed to do the same things. That's nice. Logan is also the hometown of the Hocking Hills, and the members of the community are very open to helping tourists have the best experience while visiting the amazing features of Old Man's Cave and all the other amazing sites. Old Man's
what's in
Cave.
there?
That
Yeah.
an old man,
The old man
probably.
still in there?
Old man, 6-pack of beer, some Hungry Man dinners, maybe. I don't know.
Rocking
Salisbury
chair.
steak. Yeah. Overall, I think Logan is a very nice town with several great characteristics. Okay, that's 4 stars.
Okay. Yeah.
They're getting worse here. 3 stars. As a student at the high school in Logan, oh boy, here we go. Let's see what the kids think. Everyday life can be boring if you don't have a job or sports, and if you don't do sports, then 8 out of 10 times you do drugs and drink illegally.
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10 if you don't do sports. It's either sports or drugs. There's only
80% of the time, if you don't do sports, you will be doing
Wow.
drugs. 80%
They don't have video
of the time that you
games
want
or-
to do something.
yeah. What about the nerds? Nerds have other shit to do, don't they? Like
80%
nerds didn't
of
need
the time,
sports or
James, they're doing
drugs.
drugs.
When I was in school, nerds didn't need sports or drugs. There was like, that was the point. That's why they were a nerd. They didn't do drugs or play sports. That makes you a nerd, I guess, in 1993,
I'd like to know who influenced that child to use that. 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10 times you do drugs and drink illegally during the summer, especially if you drive down back roads, you'll see bonfire parties full of teens doing way too many things they shouldn't. A lot of
Well, 8
teens
of the
down.
10 of them.
That's why, yeah, 8 out of the 10. The other 2 are driving by watching. That's the other 2. They pass each other on the road and just shake their heads, going, "Jesus."
There they are.
A lot of teens down here enlist just to get the fuck out of here, and that's my current plan. So that's what he's talking about. Yeah. GTFO.
I think that
he
is.
says.
I think that'd be the first time we've seen somebody swear in this.
Well, he said GTFO. So,
but still, it's swearing, right?
Yeah, it's a kid. Yeah, if you don't know from another country, enlist means they're signing up for the military to get out of a town. Yeah, which was common back in the day. Now there's more mobility around. But I don't know. So 2 stars. Logan, Ohio is not a very good town. That's the opener. That's nice. There's more.
Right.
I've grown up living in this town all my life, and it has never really been good. Wow. That's interesting. There's a lot of drugs that are easily accessible to junior high and high school kids. Everyone knows everyone, and there isn't much to do here. Okay. All right. Well, I didn't think there would be, but 2 stars. No matter who you are or how high up on the food chain you are, Logan will swallow you whole and spit you out wet. Logan will turn you into a chunk of discarded red man. That's what Logan will turn you into.
Spit you out wet.
Like one of Jimmie's little Copenhagen packets that you chew on there. So it's all nasty when you throw them out. I'm like, Jesus, Jimmie. You look like you pulled them out of your insides and we're like, here's some brown chunks from inside my body.
At least it's in a pouch and not in my teeth.
It's in a pouch. It's not loose. I like
nice,
that.
yeah.
That's good. Yeah. That's helpful.
It's still gross.
But it is less gross. I'll give you that. People in this town, population 6,933, so not a huge town, as we've talked about before. Way more females than males, like 56% female, which is crazy. It's the age too is weird. It's the median age is 36.4, which is about normal, but all the demographics, the older people, there's more of them than anybody. So it works out mathematically here. About an average number. It's 50-50 married, not married, single with kids and all that stuff. Race of this town, 96.8% white. Pretty white. 1.7% black, 0.2% Hispanic. There's a couple of black people and a bunch of white people. That's the town. Religion in this town, 25% are religious. So, and there is no dominant strain here. It's Ohio. Right? It's mixed up. There's a few Catholics, some Lutherans, Methodists mixed in there, Baptists. What there aren't, though, are any Jewish people, 0.0 in that one. But that does not happen. In this county, last election, Hocking County, 28% of the people voted Democratic, 70.3% Republican, and 1.7% Independent. The economy here, median household income here is $35,184, which is $20,000 under the national average.
Holy shit. In that frozen-ass state?
Yeah, that's rough. And then it's southeast, though, so it gets hot there, too, and sticky in the summer.
Warm, yeah.
It's just... It's still
Ohio.
It's just, Ohio is a rough weather state. It is cold in the winter. It's hot in the summer. It's sticky. It's windy. It's a punishing weather state. You're going to pay for it.
Fuck yeah. There's
You're going to pay for it with
there,
that.
Right? You get fucking nasty winter weather. It's brutal.
I don't know if there's yeah, you get a lot. What you won't pay for it, though, is in the housing, because the housing is about half the rest of the country. It's a median home cost $141,900. So it's about half. So that's not bad. So if we've convinced you, damn it, you need the weather and all the stuff that comes along with it, we have for you the Logan, Ohio Real Estate Report. Your average 2-bedroom rental here goes for about $715, so low.
Oh,
that's very $500. Yeah, $500 less than the national average. I found this house. This is 2-bedroom, 2-bath, or 2-bedroom, 1-bath. I apologize. 1,037 square feet. It looks absolutely abandoned. It is. Yeah. I mean, this house looks like Charlie Bucket's house. It's not good, man. This is where a story with a golden ticket starts. It's multi generations of a family sleeping on the floor together in front of a wood stove is what I see inside of this joint.
Room for improvement, for sure.
in every single aspect, including straight walls on the outside. The walls look like they're not straight, which is not helpful. $70,000 for this little gem, though. So, I mean, there's that. Here's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,900 square feet. It's a fancy log cabin, period. That's it. So if you want a fancy log cabin, I got a fancy log cabin for you here.
It's doable.
It's doable. $650,000 for that, though.
Holy shit.
It's got some land, too, a couple acres, but still, that's seems like
That's
a lot.
a lot of
now,
money.
This house, wow, this is wild. 5-bedroom, 7-bath, T-bowl for each and every bee-hole here, guys.
Yeah.
10,583 square feet. It's super weird. It's part log cabin, part mansion.
Oh, boy.
There's like a log cabin section
of
the mansion. I don't know what is going on. There's weird shit going on in the basement, like with strange colors on the walls that are going to take you months to paint over.
Everybody's put their little spin on it that's owned it.
It's so strange, this house. It looks like they just broke up houses and put them in a bag, and then you picked out parts, and you were like, oh, we're going to put a log cabin on the west side there. But okay, and the guest quarters, great. That's what it is. $1,500,000 for this little mashup of shit. I mean, 10,500 square feet's a lot. So things to do here.
Okay, tell me more.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
No, it's for the. I guess if you do it by square footage, costs this much per square foot. I understand that, but if you've got a lot of wrecking out to do, that's
if it's a weird That's what I mean. It's not terrific. I agree with you there 100%. So the things to do, and we did, this is different than the one we did last time as well here. This is the Hocking Hills Bigfoot Festival. Come on down, everybody.
Christ.
Mark your calendars and bring the whole family to enjoy the weekend of August 5th and 6th in the Hocking Hills for a super fun, free, recreational, nature-savvy, Bigfoot-themed festival. With exclamation points. I had to give it its
Bigfoot
proper
theme,
due.
but they're not claiming to hunt him, right?
Well, let's find out what they're
All
doing.
right. Because that's not there, right?
I think you definitely win a prize if you kill one, probably. I'm just going to say. From local vendors to national speakers, what do you think those are? People who travel around to talk about Bigfoot.
Boy.
Art exhibits and even a Squatch walk. Does that mean you have to slunk over and fucking look like Sasquatch?
Yeah.
This event has it all. Well, what else would you want besides local vendors, national Bigfoot speakers, art exhibits about Bigfoot, and a Squatch walk? That is it all. That's all of it, Jimmy. That's it. Located in the heart of Bigfoot country, Logan, Ohio.
It's not.
Huh? Since when is that Bigfoot country?
How dare you?
No. That's not. No. I always hear Northwest. I never hear, Ohio has a large number of Bigfoot.
PNW's got this shit cornered, babe. You guys got to stop
what
this.
This is, pick a different brand. I don't know. Pick something. Grow something there. Make corn your thing. I don't know. Enjoy both local and national speakers as they discuss the Bigfoot phenomena. Proceeds from this event go toward the Logan Theater Restoration Project and the Hocking Hills Children's Museum. Events that day, there's vendor speakers. 10 to 4 p.m. is the Squatch and Find.
Oh,
so
10 to 4.
We've been looking for Sasquatch. No one can find him. 6 hours
We're going to get it in this 6-hour window.
6. I mean, now, but you have 6 hours, so get in there and squatch it up, everybody.
We'll get it.
1 p.m. is the Squatch Walk, and then 3 p.m. is the Howling Contest.
Oh!
Because we know Bigfoot howls somehow, for some reason. I don't know how that works. I don't get that at all. There's an award show at the end of this.
Oh!
There's an award show at the end of the whole thing, which is...
What are you going to get?
Hilarious. And then live music to be presented by Sandy Ogle. So there's her.
Okay. Yeah.
We got that. And then, by the way, your speaker lineup. Want to hear who's speaking, everybody?
Can't wait.
B. Mills will be there. B-E-A, like B. Arthur. B. Mills.
Yeah.
Mick Rohr will be there. R-O-H-R. Yeah, Rohr. That's funny. Adam Davies will be speaking. These are hour-and-a-half slots, by the way. We're talking...
Holy shit.
We're talking like a full comedy set plus, but with no jokes, except that they're talking about Sasquatch, which is funny.
And they're supposed to not step on each other's material. With how long can you talk about fucking Squatch without saying something somebody else is going to say?
That's what I'm saying. It's the same. They should all do it together. A panel.
Yeah.
There's a couple coming on also, Jeanette and Pat Quackenbush. So, those who Squatch together stay together, as we all know. Doug Waller will be there. Jeff Carpenter, Eric Altman, Susan Ferencak.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the ones, everybody. So get on down there.
Not a famous one amongst them.
It's hard to be a famous Bigfoot person unless you capture a Bigfoot and bring him somewhere in chains.
You better.
You'll be famous then.
The most famous one is probably the guy from Harry and the Hendersons, the bad guy, right? That little bald guy.
I think, yeah. He's probably the most famous Squatcher going, probably. I'm going to say. So, crime rate in this town, what we're interested in, property crime is actually high in this little town.
Really?
It's about 1/3 over the national average. So I don't know what the hell's going on here. But then violent crime seems like, well, not dangerous, because violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and, of course, assault, the Mount Rushmore of crime, is just under the national average. So what are you going to do here? I don't know. It's
just
they'll rob you, but won't just stealing, Mom. So that said,
I'll put it back.
I'll put it back. You can have it. I'll pay for it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a murder, shall we?
Let's do that, yeah.
Whoa, this is a lot of crazy. And like I said before, I understand we said it at the top, but in case you skipped to the whatever, you need to listen all the way through to the end of this, because you're going to leave a lot on the table if you don't, because holy ball sack is this crazy. All right, let's talk about some people, shall we?
Okay.
Some Logan people. Let's talk about a young lady, first of all, here. Let's talk about Annette, okay? Double N, double T, Annette.
Yeah.
Annette Cooper Johnston, with a T, Johnston. She's 18 years old, and she was a Miss Parade of the Hills semifinalist. So she's a pretty girl, I guess. I don't know. I suppose. I don't know what your qualifications would have to be a finalist in the Parade of the Hills.
Which sounds like a fucking horror movie title.
Absolute Parade of the Hills, and there's a big they're coming, and they're like, their ears are hanging off from leprosy, like that they got down in the mines, and they're coming to give it to you.
What year is it that she's 18?
Zombie lepers. Well, we'll get to that. It's 1982 here, so that's what that's our setting here. Is 1982. Now Annette, smart. Annette is very ambitious. She's considered a very nice girl, very good in school, very perky and upbeat, and also quite promiscuous as well.
All right.
She puts together a lot of very disparate things, like the overachiever, very nerdy type of girl that's very happy and perky is not often the promiscuous one in high school.
Everybody. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's different, but we'll find out what happened with her. Her parents said they just assumed that Annette was having sex with most of the young men that she hung out with, and they would argue about her with her boyfriends and that kind of thing. But she always wants like a real, she always wants a real boyfriend is the thing, and she kind of just hangs out with people. So she's known as a perfectionist in school, though. She's taken college-level courses in her senior year. She's done with all her high school stuff already. She, after 1 year at Hocking Tech Junior College, she was going to go to Ohio State University as her plan here to study computer science. She liked to code and write programs. Yeah. So in 1982, there was not a lot of people doing that. Yeah, that's a very specific, nerdy thing in 1980. Like, think about Stranger Things. Like, they were like into computers a little bit, and they were the nerdiest kids in town, and they were a little bit into computers in 84. If they were coding in 82, they're smart, very smart. So she liked to do that. She liked to try to solve problems and do that sort of thing. Grades never good enough for her. Parents don't ever have to tell her to get better grades. She freaks out if she doesn't get perfect grades. So that's not even a thing. Her mother and everybody remembered one time she got a 98 on a test that she felt she should have got 100 on, and burst into tears and ran out of the room.
Holy shit.
For a 98. Meanwhile, me and you, if we got, an 88 and an 86, we'd be high-fiving.
I don't think I got a 98 on anything ever.
Yeah, it was smart to cheat off each other. Awesome, that's what we would say. I tried to look at that Indian girl's paper, but she she kept putting her arm over it, man.
Covering it up.
Yeah, because that was my high school experience.
Yeah, I had a little nerd that the kid's very successful today. He's a lawyer. That's who I used to cheat off of, and he's doing great, and I'm not still. Her
girlfriends all would say about Annette that they didn't really see her wild side or anything like that.
Oh?
She only would be a little bit wild if she was with a guy that she liked. That was it. Okay. Otherwise, she was just kind of a really studious student and that sort of thing. A friend of hers named Sonny Wassam Squires. Jesus Christ. Wassam Squires. That's a friend of his here, of hers here. Of hers, yeah. She was, Sonny's a girl, by the way, Sonny Wassam Squires. Sonny Wassam was engaged to a guy named Todd, who then started to date Annette after they broke up.
Oh, shit.
Todd's 19, by the way. They're all 18, 19 years old, but there's engagements and breaking off of engagements, and that's not great.
Welcome to small town USA. Yeah. This is great.
Just welcome to 1982 also, where people were trying to get married early. And now this young lady, Sunny, says that Annette never did drugs or anything like that. That wasn't her thing. She wasn't wild at all. She actually remembered that Annette and Sonny together had reported to both school and police authorities people they suspected of bringing drugs into the school.
What? Annette snitches?
That would have got you so stabbed in the face in my school and fucking like you would have been killed. That's incredible. Kids, wow. Yeah, but no one would probably suspect these, like a couple of, girls like that. So that's wild. So yeah, she would tell of the teachers. I don't know what drugs they're talking about, but another girlfriend of hers, Becky, who was pretty close to her, she said that Annette really liked this Todd guy. We'll talk about Todd in a second. She said that Todd was what she called the first real boyfriend she ever had.
Oh.
And they said, though, here in 1982, coming towards September, October, her friends started to notice that she kind of had some changes in the last month a little bit physically. She stopped coloring her hair. I guess she always dyed her hair blonde. She's a blonde. And they said she stopped coloring her hair. They said that she used to always be very meticulously dressed. They said now she would be like dressed sloppy, not wearing makeup with her roots grown out. Yeah, fine. But they're like, that's not Annette. That's weird. What's up with Annette? She doesn't look like Annette. Which, I mean, she's 18 too. People change and figure stuff out. Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely, these people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked, God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. You know, the most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch-up here or a total makeover. Yeah. Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing. No. They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sono Bello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro-laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently, wherever your problem areas are. Tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sono Bello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's sonobello.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
But they said, this friend said that Annette seemed troubled when she saw her one day. Annette had talked to her about going to pot parties, quote unquote. Ooh, a pot party. Oh, no. And how she was, she apparently during one of these pot parties, some kids got in an argument and the cops had to come and there was a bunch of stuff. And she's saying she didn't like the chaos of it all, but she does like her fiance, Todd Schultz, who apparently loves a good pot party. Can't get enough of it. What are they going to do? Play that jazz music over there?
Stupid.
They're going to be playing jazz music, and I swear to God, they'll be. Oh no!
Everybody just staring at blacklight posters. It's boring.
They're going to be race mixing over there. I know it. Race mixing and dancing. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It's no good. Sounds like it's the fucking again the 40s is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
So. Her fiance here, as they quickly become engaged here,
really?
Todd. Oh yeah, so Annette has a fiance now named Todd Schultz. He is 19 years old, so an age-appropriate fiance anyway, thankfully. Yeah. On our show, that's something to give a hats off to because
if there was applause on this show, we'd be playing it.
Yeah, he could be 48 years old. We don't know. He could be 55 years old on this show. It doesn't matter. So now Todd was considered very square, Todd. Everybody says he's very square. That's always the fucking description of him is he's just kind of a square. But he also, and this is disputed by his family, but not by everybody that knows him, that Todd liked to smoke weed a little bit too, which you can be square and like to smoke weed. It doesn't mean... Yeah, you don't have to. Like I said, this is the '80s. You weren't like a jazz musician if you smoked weed in the '80s. You just a normal kid, wanted to hang out. Right. Maybe it opened up his mind for coding. I don't know. Who cares? It doesn't matter. So Todd, the thing that really amazed Todd, from what I understand here, is that Todd thought it was so strange that when he went to Annette's house, they had a.
Oh my.
Oh, boy, there's a property there, a big property. They have a pond in the farm there that they swim in, the whole family. And the whole family skinny dips together.
What?
We're talking her mom, Sandy, her stepdad, Dale, who we'll talk about, her younger sister, who's like 16, 17, or 15, 16 at the time, and Annette. They all skinny dip there. You can just.
God, that's so weird.
Let's watch stepdad's balls flopping around as he jumps in the
that's
fucking...
the part. Oh, Jesus. I mean...
That's not cool.
That's not the part. The whole thing's the part.
The whole thing is the part,
It's all the part. It's not all good. But stepdad makes it so much creepier, right?
That's creepier. Yeah, if I don't know what chicks do. So if two teenage girls want to go skinny dipping with their mom and they tell me that's normal, great. I don't know. I honestly have no idea.
It's hard to argue.
Right? Women pee together. I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
True. Yeah.
Do you know what they're doing? When you go take a dump when we're off on the road, you never go, James, come with me. I'm going to go take a dump. Stand with me and talk to me. You never say that. So I don't know.
Lean against the wall and tell me about your marital problems.
That's
while I get rid of this.
It helps ease my bowels to hear about your marital issues.
It's so bizarre what girls do.
So I don't know what they're doing. So that if you told me that's normal, skinny dipped with my mom all the time when I was 18, I'd go, great. I don't know that's fine. But I do know, as a grown man, if 18 and 16-year-old stepdaughters were there with their tits out, I certainly wouldn't be there, and neither would my ball sack. They'd both be put away in the house somewhere. Me and my ball sack.
I might not be on the property. Fuck, I don't want to be anywhere near this. I don't even want to just be in my room on the off chance that somebody says that
put your covers over your
opened.
head.
Yeah,
covers over your head is what you got to do.
I don't want to be on this property. I'm going to go see a movie, you guys. See if you can get done with this in the next hour and a half.
Going to town.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's not the only weird thing that goes on there, but apparently there's a lot of strife at Annette's house about certain issues, and a lot of them are weird and strange, and we'll get into everything. But Dale caught Todd and Annette changing into bathing suits in the same room. They were changing, so they were getting nude together here. And apparently a big fight blew up.
Okay.
And from this is a straw kind of a thing that broke the camel's back. But there's a much deeper root to this. It's like a tooth. It's all the way down to the jawbone. It's way more than you think. But a fight started, and Annette ends up leaving the household here, leaving this household, the Johnston house, and moving in with Todd and his family, the Schultzes.
It was such a big fight, she moved out?
She moved out. I mean, she is 18, so I mean, at 18, you're kind of feeling your oats as far as like if I have somewhere else I can go, that's the first time in forever. Someone goes, well, if it's under my roof and you don't like it, and you go, you know what, I don't like it, and you fucking leave. That's the first time you can do that, and you have somewhere to go. It's just a power play you've been dreaming about since you were 4, you know?
You've been really looking for it's like having a bad job and really looking forward to the day you can tell your boss to go fuck himself. But this is worse.
Fuck you. You're cool.
This is worse because this is going to make Thanksgiving fucked up.
Yeah, this is going to be a mess. So now Todd, by the way, his ex-fiance, Sonny there, called him, said that he's a young man with old-fashioned morals, whatever that means. I don't know what that means.
I guess no fucking till we're married?
No. They're fucking like crazy all over the place. They have like a special fuck spot they go to and everything else.
Really?
No, they're very normal when it comes to that, like libido-wise or nothing. He's just a nice kid. They say, though, he did become more and more possessive of Annette over the course of the relationship. Maybe because her stepdad's balls were around her, and she was a little creeped out. And But one of her friends said he's a wonderful, thoughtful boy. He'd come around and talk with us. He'd open car doors for you, things like that.
That kind of thing. Got it.
Kind of an old-fashioned-y, gentleman-y type guy here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You pull a cigarette out. He's got a lighter ready to go.
Yeah.
Little cough. He's fucking Altoid. He's right there. Ludens. So, they remember also his mom says he was also content to stay home. There's 3 younger kids in the house, too. There's 4 kids that the Schultzes have. And he would work on his pride and joy, a car that he's restored and made beautiful here.
In 1984? 82.
82.
Yeah.
He's got a 67 Pontiac Le Mans, baby.
Oh, yeah.
67. Yeah, it's kick-ass. He called it the Chief, and he called it Rosemary, depending on his mood.
Wow.
So, yeah. He, like I said, everybody said that he smoked a little weed here and there and stuff like that. His mom would say later that he didn't run around with the bad kids. She said, quote, he didn't run around with them, but he treated them with respect.
Okay.
So that's what she said. But I mean, in a small town, it's one of those deals that everybody kind of hangs out with everybody. And whoever smokes weed just hangs out with people who smoke weed. That becomes like your thing in common. So, it's not that bad. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's fine. So after Annette moved into the household here, the Schultz family is on welfare. And they found out that, I guess the dad's not around or something here. So I guess it was found out that Annette had moved in. The welfare office found out about it, and their benefits were recalculated, and their food stamp allotment was cut to $16 because they had another adult in the house.
$16
monthly.
Oh my God! So that's like why even be on it at that point? You're cut
there's
so
no
low.
That's, come on, kids, let's go to McDonald's for our monthly food stamp. Fucking, she had, I guess Miss Schultz, they had been recently divorced, and she had 3 younger children, and then Todd is in the house now, so he's considered an adult. And his mom said, quote, I had 4 of my own plus Annette. I wanted them to move out before they got married, so then she could get more benefits for the kids. So they lived in a trailer, by the way, here. Or I'm sorry, that's John. She moved out. Annette was in a trailer, and then they moved in with. She moved in with the Schultzes. So left at the trailer is her stepdad, Dale Johnston, Dale N. Johnston. He's 48 years old with his fucking floppy nut sack jumping in a pond. And she also has a sister named Michelle, and they have a mom named Sarah. Sarah is their mom. Dale is both the girls' stepdads. So Dale had lived near Xenia, I guess, Zenia, Ohio. Xenia, I'm going to say. Xenia, Ohio, from 57 to 76. And then they moved here, and he got married to Sarah. And
then he got upset that his 18-year-old stepdaughter got naked to get dressed, obviously, in a trailer.
There's not a lot of room.
We're all together in this. Why are you so mad?
How about also she was looking at your old nutsack fucking just 10 minutes ago in the farm pond. Now she can't. At least this kid's disgusting. So
it's weird.
Sandra is Todd's mom. And she says, Sandra will tell everybody that Annette told her that Dale Johnston, her stepfather, had raped her when she was 10 years old.
Oh, God.
And that a few weeks before she left the house, or a couple months before she left the house, that he had, quote, masturbated in front of her.
Jesus. That's a bizarre move.
That's a really strange thing to do. I don't understand
so
that.
Weird.
I never understand why guys want people to watch them jerk off. Watch me.
No.
Why? No, I don't want to.
What is this?
This is gross.
No,
I don't think so. So, Todd is having some problems too. He's kind of floating. He's 19. He's trying to figure it out. He's going to get married. He's living in a trailer on food stamps. He had a job at a print shop, but he lost his job because he suffered a hernia. So he couldn't do it anymore. He had to lift stuff, and he couldn't do it. And then he lost his workers' compensation claim. So,
what?
How
do you lose that when you got a hernia?
I don't know.
Boy.
I'm not sure.
Poor bastard.
That sucks. And he also is having a hard time because Annette is. He wants to keep Annette here. He wants to live with Annette, but she can't really stay in the trailer because of the food stamp issue, and they can't go back to her house because Todd can't go there, and then God knows what she's going to do or what's going to happen to her. So Todd had threatened to kill himself if Annette left him recently, which is strange.
This is out of control.
I guess he wanted to get an apartment for him and Annette, and he was trying to get some cash this in October here. He tried to do that. He went and talked to his father, Don. He said, can you help me? And Don said, I can't really help you. Sorry about that. He went to a next door neighbor, was looking for jobs. Anybody have any work for him? Things like that. He talked to a next door neighbor attorney of his. And I guess Annette had a car, but her family's keeping it because she left. So he's talking to the lawyer, seeing if there's a way that they can legally get Annette this car. But the problem is her mother can either drive Annette's car or a rusted-out Pinto that she has, which is clearly unsafe. So that's not great here. Also, Dale started, I guess, they wanted to get this car because Dale had soon expected to get royalty checks from leasing some of his land to a strip mine operator. So they're like, Dale's going to have money, so you should be able to get your car. So he wanted to get the car so he could sell it, get $1,000, get an apartment. That was the plan here.
We want the car not to drive it, but to sell it?
Yes, we got to sell because he has a Le Mans. So he's like, we have my car. That's fine. We'll get your car, sell it. We'll move into a place. Weird thing is, Annette had over $2,000 in her savings account, but never said anything about it. So that's interesting. She could have got it like that.
Literally $1,000 can change our lives. She has 2 of those. And
yeah.
Okay.
So we don't know if maybe she wasn't as hot on the idea of getting a place as he was, and she was just humoring him, or if she just was, saving it for a rainy day. Who knows? So they have to move out soon. There's no doubt about that. That has to happen. And Annette is tired of the whole thing. Annette doesn't want to go back and forth. She doesn't want to be unstable. She's kind of tired of the town. She wants to go to Ohio State, get the fuck out of here, go to Columbus, do something with herself here. So October 4th, 1982, Annette gets an A in her computer programming class at Hockning Technical College.
And she's good at it. Jesus.
She's good at it, yeah. So she says she's telling everybody, and her teachers are telling her she's got a very good chance of getting into Ohio State next year. Her grades are good. So, yeah, she gets home to the Schultz trailer here, and things are not as great. She's fighting with Todd. Todd was whining about, well, let's get married and let's do this type of shit, and you should get the car. He starts with the whole thing. We got to move out and let's get a car.
Oh, boy.
And everything like that. So Annette ends up walking out of the house. She walks out of the house, and the mom overhears them arguing, and it's that's what they do sometimes. Kids argue.
She's leaving. Yep.
She's walking out on the fight, not leaving like I'm taking all my stuff and leaving, but I'm walking out of this thing here. So Todd had run upstairs. So the mom came in and said, "Hey, Todd, Annette just took off out of the door, in case you're interested." Right. So Todd runs out, goes after Annette. She's about 2 blocks away when he gets out of the house, catches up to her. And there's a couple of residents here of that street, Clara Anderson and a guy named George Groves. And they're sitting on the front porch of Clara's house near the intersection, and they watched the couple talk for about 10 minutes. And Clara later said, quote, "They had a little lover's quarrel, I suppose." Okay. So it looked like they were arguing. But she said that it looked like that the fight ended and they made up at some and during this conversation. Yeah. It came the full circle. By the end of it, they make up with each other. She said they took each other by the hand and started walking off together, holding their hands together. So
adorable.
Fixed. Yeah, you have arguments when you're 19 and 8. That's why you're not supposed to be in that deep of a relationship when you're that age.
Right. There shouldn't be financial giant decisions of fighting over selling a vehicle to benefit our lives. You're too young for this shit.
It's pretty cool, though, that they figured out how to, have their problems resolved amongst each other. That's nice. Yeah. So, Todd puts his arm around her. They're walking away. Everything's looking fine here. So everything looked fine. Todd waved to his mom, who was back a couple blocks away. He was walking. He was like, "Yeah, see you later." She had come out. Now, they were next seen a few blocks down on Gallagher, near the intersection with Motherwell Street. They walked past a pickup. By the way, there's a book that had some of this detail it comes from that I'm going to give you at the end of this as well. Okay. It's a pretty decent read. So they walked past a pickup truck that was at a stop sign. There's a driver named Melody Morehouse who knows them, and she said that she knows what time it was specifically because it was not long after the end of General Hospital, which is her fucking jam. So
that was a nice time to be alive when you, as an investigator, you can piece a whole bunch of shit together based on what you were watching.
What were you watching? Oh, well, that's on at 3:30. That's obviously, you really could.
Now it's on all the time.
Like, what were you watching? Season 3 of Cheers. Okay, well, either it's 1984 or I have no idea when you were watching that. Never mind. So, so this would have been about 4:30, this Melody woman said. She said that she was sure because she watched her favorite soap opera. Then her and her 2 friends went out on a cigarette run. You get some... it's like post-sex. It's a post-coital experience when you're done with General Hospital. You got to take a puff. That's how it works.
GH will make you want some mores.
Yeah. So Melody beeped at the kids, and Annette turned and waved, and then Melody saw them walking down another way here, down into the direction of the Home Tavern, and that's where the city streets ended. Past the tavern is, woods and shit like that, more rural stuff out there. So there's also the Hocking River, which goes along a cornfield. That also, the cornfield is also where a lot of kind of transient people sleep and hang out.
That's
people,
where we fuck off. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a kids' party. People sleep there.
Sure.
You know, it's that sort of thing. Now, a guy named Charles Blosser, who sleeps there, I assume a homeless gentleman here, he saw the two of these. Well, they fit the description. A woman who had dark hair dyed blonde, and a man had long, spindly legs, and that describes Todd and Annette. He saw them having sex in a secluded spot on the banks of the river.
Oh, God.
That day. So, yeah. He saw that. So they did that.
He saw the whole thing.
Oh, he didn't glance. He sat there and was like, well, I'm going to be whacking it. Yep, that's right. So they ended up, when they were done, they continued walking on the railroad tracks, the C&O railroad tracks, toward West Logan. And a guy named Scott Cawthon sees them leave the tracks and go down a driveway leading into West Logan. They stopped at a garage sale, Todd and Annette. They stop at a garage sale. They look around. They put down a $5 deposit on a coffee table to hold it. Their first piece of furniture. So somehow in this 10-minute argument, then a fuck session, they have healed all wounds and are now in agreement that they're moving in together, enough to where they're buying coffee tables. So
let's go fucking
solved.
and furniture shopping.
That's right. Solved. Then about a half hour later, at 5:45 p.m., which is, ballpark, a guy named Charles Bartow, who's a part-time security guide at Armco Steel Company in the Logan Industrial District, he heard a noise coming from the direction of the cornfield. The noise was 3 gunshots, followed by a brief pause, then 4 or 5 more gunshots.
Holy.
And he said he knew it was 5:45 because he was required to shut and lock the large doors of the warehouse, and he was sure that he was on time that day, and also positive that the shots were fired by a .22. Oh. So if you're a hunter, you know the sounds of rifles in the distance. You'll go, oh, that's a .308 right there. You know exactly what shit is. So,
and a .22 is so fucking distinct. That pop,
it's got that
mistake it. Yeah.
That firecracker sound
pop.
to it.
Yep.
That it's that crackle in the air for a long time.
Zero boom. Yep.
No, yeah, it's total crackle thing. So if you're not familiar with weapons, a lot of people think .22s are firecrackers when they hear them.
Right.
That happens all the time. Thought I heard firecrackers. Yeah, but hunters they know the difference. So now there's a drive-through window of the McDonald's on Hunter Street. It was a few yards away from the riverside, from the cornfield next to the river. Now there's a Rebecca Troops and Mary Cullison were stopped there at about 5:45. Yelling their order out into the box, into the McDonald's drive-through box. They heard shots coming from what they thought was the cornfield. Also, they thought that they were fired. They were .22 caliber shots also.
Everybody knows.
Everybody knows. This whole it's a rural place. I think a lot of people probably hunt here, too. I mean, it's a small place in the hills. So there's another woman here, Shirley Frazier, and she talks about all this stuff here. She witnessed something from the kitchen window of her mother's house on Homer Street, which ran parallel to the C&O railroad tracks, which were about 20 yards away from the back doors of the homes that she was in. So you can kind of set it up how it is. And now her husband had come to her, actually soon-to-be ex-husband, had come to the post office where she worked and dumped the 2 kids off and just took off. So, unless she was going to get them jobs at the post office, she had to figure out something to do with them. She brought them to her mom's house and yelling about her mother, about what a piece of shit her ex-husband was, and blah, blah, blah. When she saw a young blonde woman and a thin, brown-haired young man on the tracks having an animated discussion with a taller, older man wearing dark green coveralls and a hat of some kind.
Don't like that scene.
That doesn't sound great. Yeah, that's weird. The older man, she said that the older man seemed to be, quote, glowering at the couple. So I guess trying to intimidate them of some kind. He went down the railroad track embankment and into the cornfield, followed by the younger man. So I guess there's no forcing because the Todd's behind him. according to this woman. The young woman seemed to become angry, is what this witness said, and she walked down the embankment after them after a second. She was like, fine, I'll go too. Minutes later, this woman, was Shirley Fraser, was outside loading her kids into the car when she heard 3 gunshots, she believes from a .22. Wow. And she heard a female voice yell out, quote, "Oh my God, you shot him." Then several more shots and then silence. She said moments later, the man in the coveralls came up to the tracks from the cornfield side. He looked around and then looked straight at her. This woman, Shirley. She got in her car and quickly drove off. She said at the time she just downplayed it. She said that,
What? That's
oh
the
my
most
God.
horrifying thing I've ever heard.
Oh my God, you shot him. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, she just downplayed it like it's no big deal. Like, now,
and then the
she
guy
said that
came out of the cornfield acting creepy, and I just took
and
my
glowering
kids to
at
take.
the kids and staring at me, stared me down till I drove off. So I figured it was no big deal. She
Now
said
the
though
cops are here. That seems suspicious.
she grew up in that house, and she said it's totally normal to hear gunshots coming from other side of the tracks because people do that over there. They shoot, but usually you don't hear, "Oh my God, you've shot him." That's a different.
And then more gunshots followed by silence.
Silence. So it gets weirder. Down the block a little bit on Homer Street still, Janice Moyer, a woman, she was up late. She was in the back upstairs of bedroom here. She had her baby was crying, and she just took in a foster child that's crying. So she's looking out the window, has a clear view of the access road that crosses the railroad tracks, leads into the cornfield. This is dark later on. The access road allows farm equipment to get in there. That's what it's there for. So in the middle of the night, she sees what she calls a strange parade going across the access road. 3 vehicles traveling close enough to stay within each other's headlights, she said.
Oh.
One was a dark-bodied pickup truck with a white roll bar. So Marty McFly is there. That's good to know. Yeah. The second was another pickup with a yellow trail bike in the bed, and the third was a van.
Okay.
All right. So she was like, what the hell is going on? It's the middle of the night. She said also the corn was at least 8 feet high. It was ready for harvest. This is the beginning of October. They're going to harvest soon. So she's like, what the hell here? Who's driving into there? She was so disturbed about it. She woke up her husband, and he looked. She said, look what's going on. And he looked, and he just said, there must be some kind of wild party going on. I don't fucking know. I got to work in the morning. And he went back to sleep.
Babe, wake up. 3 cars, 1 dirt bike. This is weird.
3 cars went into a cornfield, honey. I don't fucking care. Imagine waking up, you'd be like, what? I was
You don't
sleeping.
get it. They only have 1 dirt bike.
I was sleeping. A trail bike, not even a dirt bike.
Right.
A fucking a mountain
like
bike.
Like a 10 speed? Like a mountain bike?
Yeah. No motor, I think. Yeah, I think we're talking about just a mountain bike.
I want a dirt bike. Any bike at all is very... Yeah, it makes it so fucking weird because you're all not riding that at the same time.
They're going to take turns.
Take turns?
They're going to take turns there. So the next day, no one can find the kids. No one can find Annette and Todd. They're nowhere to be found. So the Schultzes, the mom, Todd's mom, and Todd's dad even, they go looking for them. Where the hell are they? They took off. We saw them walk away. They never came back. They tried them at Annette's parents' house there at the Johnstons, and no luck there. So she went to his mom, Todd's mom, went to a doctor's office where Sarah Johnston, who is Annette's mom, works as a receptionist. Apparently, according to witnesses, Sandy, Todd's mom, yelled, "How could you live with such a pervert?" at Sarah when Sarah answered the phone when she called her. She's like, oh, my God. Sandy then said that Todd and Annette are missing and, blah, blah, blah. What the fuck? So Sarah, Annette's mom, said she didn't know it was wrong. She said, I don't know what you're talking about there. So Sandy, Todd's mom, said, I know what he did to Annette. She told me everything. Raping her, masturbating in front of her, touching her all the time. Yeah. God. So and they'd only met once, these 2 women. So this is an aggressive... There's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
So as soon as she hung up, Sarah called her husband, Dale, who had just come back from feeding his livestock, and he said he'd go to the Schultz's house and find out what the hell was going on. Okay. So he knocked on the front door. She said to her husband, Sandy said to someone on the phone that she was talking to, I believe it's Todd's father, the stepfather is here. Get over here.
Oh, boy.
So he said, what are you talking about? The kids are missing. And she said that, kids took off. I don't know where the fuck they are. I was looking for them. You were probably a pervert. I don't know, blah, blah, blah. So that's how it went. Everybody, by the way, the Schultzes claim everybody in town thinks Dale's an asshole. Nobody likes Dale is what they say. So 5 days go by. No kids.
What?
Don't know where they are. Now at the same time, they've been told they can't live at the trailer. They're not there. So the parents are kind of half thinking maybe they took off and they're like, they went to elope and who knows what the fuck they're doing. You know what I mean? We don't know.
Alaska by now. It's 5 days.
They're 18 and 19, so this might be their, thing. But Dale doesn't seem to think so. Dale and Sarah, Annette's parents, they go over to the Schultz's house and they ask for, hey, can we have Annette's possessions that must be here since she lived here? And they were like, why? Isn't she going to want them when she gets back? And they said, well, her clothes and other things are the last things we might have to remember her by.
That's dark.
They're like, whoa, that's pretty fucking morbid, bro.
You're jumping to a really sick place already, sir.
Fucking Grim Dale over here. What's going on?
Yeah.
This is not cool.
What do you
You're
know,
being a real
Dale?
Grim Dale, buddy. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about our stylish friends at Quince. That's right. Let's go elevate your styles, people. Yeah. Get it going, look good out there, and you can do it now without breaking your wallet, without breaking the bank, because at Quince, you can get high-end, versatile pieces at prices we can all actually afford, which is very nice. You want to get good stuff that lasts and it's good, and they have quality stuff that's very affordable, and you can do like we did, upgrading our stuff here, while still being a very reasonable price. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. It's all quality stuff. You're going to love it. Trust us, it looks good. And I've got the leather jacket. It's a very high-quality item. Real nice, soft leather. Yeah. Jimmy's got his linen pants he's rocking.
Yeah, they're terrific.
Come on, be like us. Be fashionable. Get in there with Quince. Indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/smalltownmurder for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/smalltownmurder to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about a very cool place, Thrive Market. Yes, we are both looking to get into the healthy swing this year. The problem is I don't know what's in everything, and I don't know if even I'm qualified to even read the labels to know if that's good or that's bad. Right. There's chemicals in things, and there's things floating around. I don't know what I'm doing out there. One of my favorite features, and I know you were talking to me about this, is the Healthy Swap Scanner in the Thrive Market app. Yeah, it's simple. You scan any item, and it'll instantly suggest a cleaner, healthier grocery alternative, which is
it's great.
Amazing. Yeah. That's great. Thrive Market also takes the guesswork out of finding these safe, healthy foods. For example, like I'm trying to get my protein intake up for energy. I'm always moving around. I need stuff. And I love that you can filter their site by the high protein options.
Nice.
It's very cool. And you can personalize this portion and you can put filters on it. And get ready. You should be ready for a junk-free start to 2025. Get ready for it and head to thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder and get 30% off your first order plus a free $60 gift. That's THRIVE market.com/smalltownmurder, thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
So, yeah, it's very strange goings on here. So, saying it's the last thing to remember her by, that's very fucking odd. She also said, Schultz also said that the day after they disappeared, that Sarah Johnston, Annette's mother, they said they had asked, Sarah had asked Sandra, did you check by the Hocking River when you searched for them? And Todd's mom said, I didn't know exactly how to take that. I didn't know how she meant it.
Yeah.
Like, why would she look there?
Very specific.
Yeah, that's extremely specific. So this goes on another 5 days. October 14th, 1982. There is a group of the cops haven't looked, by the way, for them at all. There's been no searches, no dogs, no helicopters, no let's find them, nothing. They go, well, they're adults.
It's adults, yeah.
There's adults. At that point, they have no signs of foul play or anything like that. They're just two adults that took off. Who knows?
Right.
So a group of citizens here, this is the REACT group, the Radio Emergency Associated Citizens Team, a bunch of CB radio people, a CB club. Yep. A CB club organizes a search of the area.
Nicknames. Yeah.
With dumb nicknames that they've always wanted to be called. Always. Just always wanted to be Wolfman. I don't know why.
They're all self-given nicknames. You're not supposed to nickname yourself. It's very weird.
No,
because
exactly.
when you do, it's the hubris is so obvious.
It's pretty fucking clear. Yeah. People usually, unless you're Muhammad Ali, people usually give you nicknames that are, you know, slightly off or a little,
they're a little
insulting. Tongue-in-cheekish.
Yeah.
They're not like, Stud God 45 or something. It's a little, I don't think your friends nicknamed you that.
Breaker, God King here.
Breaker, Johnny Big Dick on the line. Who's here? Who's coming at me? Johnny Long Schlong. Coming on down with some smokies in my pokey.
Breaker 19, Long Dong Silver.
Coming on down the highway.
The worst.
Any bears in the air up there? So, about a dozen of these people gathered in the afternoon in a parking lot of an abandoned supermarket where all great searches start. And wasn't far from the railroad tracks, obviously, so that's why they did it. The police had not made a systematic search, like we said. The volunteers said they're just using common sense, which told them that the two young lovers out for a walk don't just run off with all of their shit left behind. If they're going to run off, they would have packed at least a duffel bag or something. So
that's the thing.
This group,
it couldn't matter any less what the age or any description of the person is, their lifestyle at all. Left all their shit behind. Start looking.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
And it's not, if they went on, said they were going out of town and took a bunch of shit with them and left and never came back, you go, well, maybe they stayed there. But they walk. They're on foot, for fuck's sake. Right. Why would he he's going to leave his prized classic car behind?
Right. That Le Mans is everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So they split up into small groups. They started walking the tracks. As they crossed the bridge, a woman volunteer pointed out something floating in the water trapped in some debris. And they all decided, let's not get any closer.
Yeah.
And they didn't think it was any part of a human because it didn't look like they didn't see legs or a head or anything sticking up. So they were like fingers or anything. So they were like, okay. They call off the search there that day. The next day they go back, and this river, by the way, is they find something. There's a guy with a little boat here. Trying to look for that shit. Deputy Bill Groves is here with another deputy in there because now the cops come in after they say. I think once they see a group of citizens searching it, they're like, we should probably look around, right?
We're gonna look like real dicks if they find anything at all, right?
Yeah, let's do that. So there was a bunch of debris and trash that was kind of caught up in fallen trees and limbs and shit like that. They're poking it all with their oars, trying to see. Then they did it a bunch of times, and a bottle will float away and shit. Instead, they see something that looks like a dead animal, probably a pig carcass. Yeah. So they poke it with the oar. As it floated away, though, they said, that looks like human skin.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell what part of a human body it was, though, or anything like that was sticking above the water. So it floated away and got caught on a sandbar where the police could get close to it, and they realized that it is a torso.
Oh,
that's all. No arms, no legs, no head, just a torso.
Oh, God.
He said presumably male, although it's difficult because there's no genitalia because it's a torso.
Just a flatter chest. And
that's the only reason.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, that she'd maybe whatever. So they
I've seen little ones.
Yeah, I mean, there's little tits out there. So they
pay them.
They go to the Johnstons.
They're wonderful.
That's what I mean. Well, that's not what you said like a month ago. You're taking.
I know.
We had an argument. Now you're fucking. No, you can't do that.
I'm just saying I love them, Big. Pay attention.
Don't switch sides now,
I love
mister.
Them,
there you go. Be yourself, Jimmy.
I'm just saying, just trying to be kind to this body.
I got you. I feel you. I'm just breaking your balls.
I'm not trying to hurt this body. I'm not trying to hurt this torso's feelings.
You don't want to. No, this is terrifying.
Yeah.
But they don't know who it is, though, also, because they figured out that there's another couple who'd been reported missing in Columbus recently.
Oh, my God.
And these bodies seem pretty decomposed, so they're like, this might be this other couple from Columbus is what they're thinking, more than likely. They asked if Annette had any identifying body marks on her body, and Dale said, yeah, she broke her leg, so, we have old x-rays, maybe that'll help. And the cop said, well, we don't have any legs to work with here. So,
oh, God, Jesus.
She break her sternum or anything like that? So the mother said...
Oh, man.
Well, the mother said, well, she wore partial braces. She was supposed to get them finished off. She was coming in sections, and they said, well, we don't have a head either.
How about,
and they were
about does she have her appendix?
Yeah, is there an appendix scar there? Anything we could, open heart surgery at the age of 12, anything that we can get into.
Right.
So they asked, can you supply any pictures that might help make an identification of the torso, possibly? So... the Johnstons went home. They come back. Dale comes back an hour or two later with 3 pictures of Annette at age 12. Okay. These pictures should not exist, by the way. These are 3. She's nude in these pictures.
Oh, my God, Dale.
This is a 12-year-old nude photo shoot, okay?
Oh, my God.
No, I get that there's some nudish shit going on in the house. Like,
sure,
there's nudists that walk, but you don't take
there should not
photographs
be a camera anywhere near. Yeah,
you shouldn't be naked around your fucking kids if you're an adult and they're 12 anyway. But I don't care. I'm going to make a goddamn. We're judging that as weird. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'll stand on that hill and I'll fucking die on it. I don't care.
Put your dick away. Slap some boxers on, Chief. I don't care. You walk around shirtless all you want. Slap some boxers on. So,
and regardless whether or not you're naked, put some fucking clothes on that child. That's
on
weird.
The child, yes.
At 12, that's too old. Too old for them to be naked around you.
Yeah, and they're like a photo shoot too. Like these are staged.
Yikes.
In 2 of them, she's holding a shotgun with bands of ammunition crossed in front of her chest.
Well, she is nude.
Yeah, like fucking people do on Instagram and shit all the time, but not when they're 12. This is crazy.
My God.
So
she's like this at all.
This is like those weird calendars they had back in the day with like naked chicks with machine guns. So the third,
oh God, yeah, go on. I'm sorry.
The third, she's lying on a rug, like on her stomach with her, with her
feet up,
butt exposed.
Yeah,
yeah, the pose.
Now,
Dale always said that they were saying, there's a cute story behind these pictures. No, there isn't.
There's not, Dale.
There's a very disturbing illegal story behind all these. There's a very large crime behind these pictures, actually, Dale.
Yeah, this is not good, Dale. If this is acceptable to him, that he can explain it away with a story, I'm starting to lean on the truth of the other accusations, man. How do you show this to people with a straight face? How do you do this?
He was like, well, here's a picture of her bare torso.
No.
And they were like, and at the time, the cops were like, okay, this is super weird, but they weren't going to be like, put cuffs on that man, because they're trying to piece together who's, where are the kids first. So they were like, okay, that's weird as fuck. So the torsos, by the way, they ended up finding both torsos here in the river.
Jesus.
Okay, it gets really strange here. There was a cross-shaped, like a T or an X or a cross, however you want to put it, in whatever shape it's in, a cross-shaped incision on Todd's abdomen and several smaller puncture wounds near it. There was also a large incision made roughly along the bottom of his rib cage across most of his chest as well. So mutilated this torso has been, and that was caused with a knife. That wasn't like an animal or something like that. That was a knife wound. The cross-shaped wound is 8 by 8 inches too. It's big.
Okay,
that's a good size.
Yeah, that's a good.
Think about it. Dollar bill is 6 inches, and it's a good size. So the Dale directed. They talked to Dale, obviously, about this. They get the pictures and all that kind of thing. He said, "Listen, I think this is wild." He said, "I think you guys should check out that cornfield as the site of maybe something bad that happened."
Yeah.
He said that he told the cops he heard, quote, a rumor about what he called kids doing crazy things in the cornfield near the area where the torsos were found. Mm-hmm. So he's like, I don't know about this. I think you're going to find them in there. So the cops were going to search there anyway, because it's kind of a connective area, not connected, but near there. So they search. In the late afternoon, they received word that someone had reported seeing a sock near the railroad tracks, not far from the access road to the cornfield. Mm-hmm. The sock was where the cops went. It was where the caller said it was, because somebody called in. When they inspected it, they found that it contained, quote, some fleshy material.
Yuck.
So they kept it as evidence.
Terrible description. Yeah.
It gets worse. About 75 yards away from the sock, another discovery is made. It's a plastic-coated burlap feed bag. Okay, the kind that holds 100 pounds of animal feed.
Oh,
a deputy,
big bag.
Big bag. A sheriff's deputy found the bag near the bottom of the railroad embankment. He showed it to another cop. They tossed it aside at first, but then when another officer came a few minutes later, this Jones detective, he came up and said, "Yeah, we got to take the bag." And they looked at it and they saw what might be blood stains on the bag, so they kept it.
Great job.
So they continue to search. They break apart, the guys here, break up and look around. Mm-hmm. They start walking around the whole edge of the cornfield. They walk near the riverbank just inside the edge of the rows of corn, and they notice a spot where some of the corn stalks were broken. And that's one of the advantages of having this 8 feet of corn, as you can see when there's areas of disturbance. Yeah. Right. If you can just get above it. So he saw more broken stalks forming what looked like a path that led into the cornfield deeper. He follows the path until he comes upon a depressed spot in the field where no corn is growing. Yeah. Just a bare spot that's a little depressed in the ground. They're like, uh-oh. There's a small discolored spot on some weeds growing around there. When he pulls back the weeds, he sees a reddish stain in the soil. Mm-hmm. So he says, let's go. Let's look at this here. So, wow. They end up finding an area where more corn stalks have been broken, about 15 feet into the corn. When they stepped in there, they saw 5 or 6 holes in the earth. Huh. Okay. Going into each of the holes was just tons of maggots coming in and out.
Oh, God, shit.
So they were like, well, I think we found something.
Yeah.
They scrape off a little bit of the dirt from one of the holes, mm-hmm. and the first scrape, they found human flesh.
Shit.
After a little more digging, they see that what they found is an arm here.
Oh, no.
So they say, all right, everybody get shovels, get the coroner. This is now a fucking scene, and nobody step here, block it off. And they're in the middle of a cornfield. So this is, how'd you like to be this farmer? He's about to go harvest. He's getting all his shit ready. And he's like, it's a fucking crime scene now? Jesus Christ.
I need that money, you bastards.
Yeah. They said look for footprints around this area, even though they've been trouncing all over it for a while now.
Tons of people,
Tons of people. So they got everything out where the maggots were. They found the body parts. They found 4 arms, 4 legs, and 2 heads. Okay. So that's good, I guess, I suppose.
That's all of it. Yeah.
But no, it's not quite all of it. Both of the bodies have been mutilated pretty bad. We told you about Todd's torso mutilation.
Right.
From what this says here, the court documents here, what they call their sex organs had been removed. They removed genitalia from both of them. Annette's torso wasn't as mutilated as Todd's, but 6 of her fingernails were missing. 6 of her fingernails were missing. Think about that. An autopsy
the
shows...
The whole tip or just the nails were ripped
the whole
off?
nail torn, not in the bed anymore. Nails missing.
Oh, Jesus.
Like, they were in a Vietnamese prison camp or something. So,
yeah, right.
Yes. The autopsy shows they died of gunshot wounds.
Mm-hmm.
So, interesting. By the way, while the cops are doing all this, there's some guy hanging around the cornfield. Looks super curious about everything that they find here.
Guy?
He's a random guy, 21-year-old named Kenny Lynn Scott, Lin Scott.
Okay.
Yeah, they find him. A deputy finds him, quote, lurking amongst the stalks. They said, lurking.
That's creepy. Yeah.
Now they talked to him, and he's the same guy who had called police a few days earlier to ask if there had been any progress on those 2 missing kids. So he called police a while back. So any progress on those kids? Also, this guy suffered a deep wound to his right arm on October 4th, a big knife wound to his right arm that night. And his wife was suspicious that he was involved in wherever these kids disappeared because he came home with a big wound. So she was like, "You didn't do anything to those kids, did you?"
That's the thing about
which is strange. Yeah. So let's just say this. This town goes motherfucking bonkers over this. Rightfully so.
Of course they do. Yeah.
Especially in 82. And it's Halloween is different this year.
Oh, God,
there's no arrests made. It's just teenagers found completely dismembered, mutilated, and torn apart in a cornfield. So nobody wants to let their kids outside.
No, Jesus, no.
It's terrifying. I mean, this town is like, they're really scared, and I mean, rightfully so too. I mean, they're freaking out here. This is it's not like they just found a body laying down by the river and they're going, "Oh God, this is 2 teenagers completely taken apart." This looks like a different deal. Gun sales and gun sales increase. It looks like Harry and the Hendersons when Bigfoot was spotted.
Yeah.
They're all people are running door locks, alarms. I mean, you name it. Anything that makes you safer. There's sales are through the roof here, which is interesting. Months go by.
What did you just
say? Months.
May. Fucking May.
May 1983 comes upon.
Oh my God. Horror film. This is crazy.
The cops suspect Dale. That's their big. That's everybody suspects Dale, the stepfather who was allegedly molested her and all that sort of thing. So, but they don't have any proof.
Of child porn. Yeah.
And in possession of that. Yeah. So they don't have any proof. So they go to the FBI actually for a profile.
Really?
They want a profile on this. Yeah. They actually go to the behavioral science unit, Mindhunter, and they get profiles here. So. The profile, the report says that they believe that the murders were, quote, unplanned and spontaneous, and that the decapitation and dismemberment of the victims suggests that the killer tried to conceal these as some kind of bizarre axe murder rather than what they were, which was a spontaneous murder that they said, "Oh shit, what do I do now?" The profile also suggests the possibility that the killer knew the female victim.
Okay.
Was familiar to didn't have to be close, but was familiar to her. Well, not a stranger, at least. So they have the FBI's profile, but you know what? That's the FBI. You know what I mean? So the behavioral science unit, John Douglas and them, we've seen Mindhunter. We know how that goes. But we also have a construction working livestock man named Dale, the stepdad, who believes he's a psychic. Okay? He's going to help out with his psychic powers.
Okay.
Yes. He's a psychic.
The possible kid toucher is also clairvoyant?
I mean, you know what? God gives you gifts, he gives you burdens at the same time. What are you going to do, Jimmy? You can't have it all.
Sometimes they can both be curses.
That's what I mean. So,
shit.
Dale said, quote, "I remembered that Annette believed in my psychic visions, and I just figured if she was in trouble, she would try to send a mental message to me." So I'm over here.
Thank God it was her that's missing because she's aware of how talented I am, and she will try from beyond to get me information. Yeah.
We'll connect in this somewhere in the psychic ether. We'll get it. Don't worry. We'll get there.
Stupid.
He said then, later that same day, as soon as he thought of that and connected it and kind of put out the mental bat signal to Annette, later that same day, quote, I had two visions. I had a vision. In one, I saw Annette and Todd standing beside some water. You know, like a river, okay?
Right.
In the other, I saw Annette and Todd in the front seat of a car. Todd was driving and she was sitting behind him. How is that possible? I saw Annette and Todd in the front seat of a car. Todd was driving and she was sitting beside him, not behind. Sorry.
Okay, got it.
Messed up my thing. Okay, beside him. So that's what he saw, these two things. So, this is fucking wild. She's very strange. So after the visions, this is, by the way, before the bodies were found. He said he had visions. That's why the cops are now going, well, this guy said he had visions. And before, he said he and his wife, Sarah, had driven to nearby Lake Logan and then to Buckeye Lake, which is 60 miles away, to look for them after he had visions of water. He said he found no evidence that they were at either place, because obviously he's a forensic detective now. But he said after he had these visions and told the cops about him, trying to be helpful, he said ever since then the police have been leaning on him, kind of trying to muscle him into saying that he had something to do with all of this. Because
in the past, a lot of guys that have done bad things have done this, sir. They've said this.
That's
to help, to give closure.
He said, no, I'm just want to help with my psychic ability. He said, sometimes when I close my eyes, I see things. That's what he said. Okay, it's interesting. It's better than hearing things, I suppose.
Yeah.
Most times, what I'm seeing doesn't have any significance, so I ignore it. He said, Sarah and I went to the scene on the river to help identify the bodies. When I looked across the river, I saw the trees, the same trees that had appeared in my vision almost 2 weeks before.
I mean, a tree's a tree.
Yeah. So, oh my God, this is weird. So now Todd's dad here, Donald Schultz, he, during this time, when everybody suspects Dale. He had a psychic vision. He's lusting the pictures, all this sort of thing. Right. Todd's dad gets arrested and charged by the sheriff's department with improper handling of a firearm. They stopped his dad's pickup truck at 8 p.m., not far from the Johnston home, with a loaded .32 caliber revolver in the truck.
Oh, he is pissed.
So they were like, that's weird.
What are you doing, vigilante man?
Yeah, he doesn't live around there anymore. So they're like, I don't like this at all. So the investigation is focusing on Dale, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
August of 83 comes around.
Get fucked.
No.
This is crazy.
No hurry. No hurry. Yeah, no hurry.
A whole town's livelihood isn't sitting on the fucking brink of disaster.
Everybody's scared shitless, and everybody's just calling Dale that murderer. It's just like, well, there it is. They're gonna arrest him sometime. Keep your kids away from the murderer. Right. So they found a boot print near the river. There, it was found on the river's edge near where everything happened here. But they said that this area also had been searched by a volunteer civilian team for 4 to 6 days before they found it. So this boot print could have been made by a searcher. They're like, you can't do that. But the police are trying to say it was Dale's boot print. They also introduced that they searched the Johnston house, and he let them, gave them full permission. They found a pair of cowboy boots, some feed bags similar to the bloodstained one they found over there, and items of clothing that were recovered from a strip mine pit behind Johnston's home. There's bloodstained clothing they found here. Okay? They think the bloodstained feed bag, by the way, was used to haul body parts from the river there where they had because torsos are heavy. So you kill them, cut them up by the river. The torsos you put there, but then you can carry arms and legs and heads up there.
Wow. Which
is pretty crazy. So they found several blood-stained household items during the search of the strip mine behind the Johnston home here. A woman named Sylvia Clark, who is a microanalysis official with the Ohio Bureau of Investigation and Identification, she said that she could not determine whether the blood was human or animal. It had deteriorated too much. Right. This is pre-DNA, too. They had a curtain, a tablecloth, a blanket, a quilt, a pair of socks, and a piece of paneling all bore traces of blood, which is not normal. Mm-hmm. I'm going to throw all these different weird, seemingly not connected items that all seem to have blood on them. I'm going to throw them out in the same hole. Good? All right.
You got any blood-spoiled shit? I'm putting all my blood spoils out here.
I'm going out in the blood pit if y'all want to throw your stuff out there. This is where we keep it's a biohazard pit, I call it, just like the hospitals have now. Johnston, he said he had authorized strip mining on part of his property, and he said that sometimes he dumps garbage in the mining pits, because it's a fucking giant pit.
Yeah, right.
So they searched his farm for 3 days, and like I said, got all of that and all the men's boots too, like we said, the cowboy boots and everything. They also took a pair of women's suede shoes from the master bedroom as well. Mm-hmm. They found a canceled check from Dale written to a Logan gas station for a purchase made on October 4th, 1982, the day of the murders. Yeah. Now, there was some confusion whether he was in town that day or not, but they know that he was because they have a check putting him at least at this gas station, or at least the date of the check is for that. Who knows? Yeah. So who knows if he didn't know the date? We don't know. So
you could have postdated it. Don't cash this yet. It's not good.
Hey, give me 5 days on that one. Yeah. Now, another search of the property, they confiscate a piece of carpeting that was under the heater in the living room of the trailer. Here. So several police officers take the feed bag that had been found at the burial site and they shake it out onto some paper placed on the floor of the sheriff's office. They hadn't shaken the bag out yet in over a year, by the way.
What?
They discover some hair samples in the bag.
Yeah.
That they shook out. Some hairs come out, okay?
A year old.
A year old hair, that they found there. So more evidence here. Human blood found on the grain bag found near the graves. The blood types could have been those of the slain people, they said, but they couldn't be positive. It was indeterminate. Now, the prosecutors say that the bag was carried. They're going to say the bag's carried to, for body parts here. There should be a lot of blood in there. They found also pubic hairs found in a pair of brown suede shoes taken from Dale's closet. By the way, who has pubes in their shoes, number one? That's a very weird.
Why you got pubes?
How do you get pubes in your shoes, man? I don't know.
I guess you stand naked just wearing shoes to trim your nuts. You get pubes.
But then
in your
it wouldn't
shoes
even go up. They'd have to. Your shoes would have to be off your feet for them to be pubes in them. Yeah, unlaced.
Unless you do it
unlaced open. Some brown suede shoes. Rock them like fucking,
What I like to do is I put my shoes
from the fucking 80s.
I yank the tongue all the way out.
Oh, yeah,
set them on the floor beneath me. Then I stand over them, and they're like a hair catcher, you see. It's like a lint trap in your dryer.
To me, I just feel better like they're cheering me on. You know what I mean? It's moral support that they're there for, really, for me.
It really feels like it's two girls standing underneath me with their tongues out.
Either way, that's how you get pubes in your shoes.
And they're hungry for my pubes.
Wow. They said that Annette Johnston had a similar pair of these shoes, so they weren't his shoes. Okay. But the mother testified later on that the shoes are her shoes that they found in her closet. They also said similar polyester fibers were found on the blood-stained feed bags and a vest owned by Dale. No blood was found on the vest, though.
Right.
So, yeah.
But these
a
are Mama's
ballistics
shoes?
Expert. Those are mom's shoes, too. And then there's a vest that's his vest. But it's in the closet. So a ballistics expert, giant bush, just shoes. Or she was wearing loose shoes and shaving his balls as a nice favor. No, that's what I see. It's probably trimmed now. So this ballistics guy says that the 22 bullets recovered from the bodies were not fired by the 22 caliber rifle confiscated from the property. Oh. That doesn't mean they didn't have a different 22 rifle. Right. I feel like in a lot of these stories on a farm, the 22 rifles are pretty
There's probably
ubiquitous.
A few. Yeah.
They shoot vermin and varmints and things like that. They said also the 22 round could have been fired from a handgun or a rifle. Either one.
Right. The long rifle. Yeah, that round goes in everything.
Yeah. Now they're talking to other people. They find a guy named Michael Stevens, who's a former school acquaintance of Annette, who he'll say fill out an affidavit and everything that she told him that she had been molested by her father and she feared that she might be pregnant. This was during her like the 80-81 school year that happened.
P.S. Molested and pregnant requires rape. That's not. I hate that.
That's more than molested.
Yeah, that's fucking
a lot more.
Rape.
Absolutely. So another former boyfriend of Annette's said that when she was 16, she told him that her stepfather was having forceful sexual contact with her, as this guy put it. Mm-hmm. And another guy, that's John Jones, another guy who was dating Annette, said she told him of a problem with her stepfather and asked to talk to his mother because she wanted just somebody to talk to. So he said, this John Jones, not the fighter, within 2 weeks of this John Jones situation here, dating her, he said that he started receiving phone calls from an unidentified man who told him that he only had so many days to live and, in addition, threatened to castrate him. So that's terrific.
That's very indicative of what happened.
Wow,
too.
That is something. Yeah. So they asked Jones if the caller's voice had any distinctive traits, and he said that he had a hissing associated with his S's. So he had like a lisp. Like a lisp is what that would be. Yes. So he said that he had also that he had heard Dale Johnston talk in a similar way before any phone calls were ever made. So they said, I know that Dale Johnston guy, his stepdad kind of talks like that. Yeah. So the cops are trying to put together, they think maybe Dale killed the couple because he was jealous that she was leaving and going off with this guy, and he feels like he had like some kind of possession over her possibly. You know, they don't know. They're trying to put it together. They need something. They do say that his relationship with his stepdaughter, quote, far exceeded the bounds of intimacy that would be expected in a normal parental stepfather relationship. I'd say those pictures right there are anything. That's right. That right there.
And that was when she was 12. It took a while to get there. He's been doing this for far too long.
I would say, yeah. Somebody else said that Dale would do anything to break up the relationship between Todd and Annette. So they saw, there's some witnesses that saw Dale with them the day they disappeared as well. So there's a lot going on here. They found though that he says that he didn't see his stepdaughter that day, and they said the boot print, the mud on the bank, didn't match the mud found on his boot either. So they just said it was could have been the same boot, but the mud was different. So, Jesus Christ, an investigator told Johnston that after the bodies were discovered and after all this, one of the investigators told everybody that as far as he was concerned, Dale Johnston did it. That's it. So now Dale is sitting there, and he said, at a time like this, a man needs more than his own strength. He needs a little help from God, too. Yeah. He said that. Yeah. That's right. He said that it's been, quote, hell and torture for me and my family since the bodies were found. Just hell and torture. He said his home's been searched. People they've made comments about him here. They said also they claimed that Johnston and his wife had, quote, in their possession instruments and implements that could cause or contribute to the condition of the victims, personal items of the victims, and evidence of trauma and writing. Yeah, the personal items of the victims, she lived there, and he came over all the time, and everybody has knives in their house. So
right. And knives and guns in Logan, Ohio are likely probably both very common.
Yeah. They live on a farm, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
He literally has a farm with a strip mine out back. So very, very, very odd here. So he said, even though nobody has mentioned names, it's obvious that the police consider me a suspect. Yeah, it's just no shit, dummy.
Maybe I shouldn't have been such a fucking creep.
Yep, they said that he said the disclosure of the details of the search warrants. They said, are you upset about that they exposed what they found? And he said, quote, don't matter to me one way or the other. Okay. He said, there's a bunch of stuff in there that won't make me look very good, but there wasn't a single item taken from me on my property that had anything to do with the deaths of those kids. What bothers me the most is... And he didn't say that they haven't found the murder. He said that while police are wasting their time and energy trying to pin this thing on me, the real murderer is still out there running free.
Okay.
He gave us an OJ.
Yeah,
that was pretty good. September 29th, 1983, they finally arrest Dale.
Okay.
Finally. It's almost a whole year. They were like, it's going to be a year in 5 fucking days. This is very embarrassing. Yeah, that's every newspaper is going to say 1 year anniversary, no arrest still. So if we have anything, let's do it now. So they arrest him 2 counts of aggravated murder, which is terrible here, obviously. Yeah. So in court, in the initial hearings, they get Sarah Johnston, the mom here, Annette's mom. Right. And they talk to her, and her testimony is that her husband may have been having sex with Annette, which is crazy. All of this is stricken from the record, by the way. This will all be stricken. The prosecutor asked Sarah, quote, "Do you recall telling Dale, quote, that you didn't care if he raped her every day of the week? I just want my baby back."
Oh, my God. Why would you say those words?
She said, yes, I do remember saying that.
Oh, my God, Sarah!
She said that. I don't know if he means rape Sarah every day of the week or her daughter. I'm not sure. But you shouldn't rape anyone any days of the week. So it just seems it's fucking crazy.
That says how desperate she is to have her baby back. But holy fuck, man. What kind of words are those to say?
Mrs. Schultz here, that is the one who said that, Todd's mom, that Annette told her about the molestation. Now, Annette's mom, Sarah, says no. Annette would say anything to get her own way. She was playing on Sandy's sympathy. But yet she doesn't deny that there was
sexual abuse.
Sexual abuse. It's crazy. So she also said that Annette was not terrified of her stepfather and that she wanted to return to home more than she wanted to stay with the Schultzes. She said that Annette had actually apologized to her stepfather for moving out so abruptly and had been back at least twice a week to visit. So she wasn't running away and doing all that. She said that the last time she saw Annette was when she and Dale returned from a vacation. Annette was staying at the trailer with Michelle, and they arrived unexpectedly, the Johnstons, Dale and Sarah, late at night, but Annette got out of bed and stayed up most of the night talking with them. That's what she said. She said that the Johnstons bought her a puppy as a peace offering. They wanted to make up with her.
Ew.
and that Annette had said, me and the puppy might be moving back shortly. So that's what Sarah said. Okay. All of this is stricken from the record, by the way.
Why?
All of this, including the incriminating things, because it was the reason was that no one else had heard it, only Sarah and Dale.
Yeah.
And this conversation fell under the protection of privileged spousal communication.
Oh.
Which is they've changed the rules a little on that. So he's in jail. Dale does an interview from jail.
Oh, boy.
And he says the town feels safe now, so I guess they're safe now, is what he said. But he didn't think, he said, this is ridiculous. This is crazy. This isn't me.
Yeah, I'm a child molester.
I'm
not a murderer.
That's what I mean. Listen, I'm a fucking chomo, not a murderer. Let me get this. I'm a rapist.
Yeah.
Please don't isolate that. I'm a rapist. I'm a terrible, terrible person, but God damn it, do I draw the line at murder. That is, my moral compass does not go that far to the fucking south.
Too far.
So, holy shit. For the trial, he waives his right to a jury trial and instead opts for a three-judge panel to decide the case. I think his lawyer said, look, there's people that are going to come on that stand and say that you fucked your stepdaughter and raped your stepdaughter. Right. You have pictures of your stepdaughter in very creepy, weird gun calendar fucking poses. Yeah. This is very creepy. A jury's going to see that and not care about any of the evidence. A judge would separate that from the evidence. So that's why they do that here.
Lean it on guys that have seen these cases and are seasoned vets that are not shocked by this. Let's just get
they're not going to be horrified.
Their legal opinion rather than somebody doing this with their heart.
Totally, exactly. That's what they're saying. Yeah, regular people are going to be very much swayed by that sort of thing, because who wouldn't? You'd go, Jesus, he's a scumbag. Right.
Calling all dog owners. Your furry friend deserves top-notch nourishment, and Ollie delivers the clean, fresh nutrition your dog needs in 5 flavors they'll absolutely flip over. Ollie is made in U.S. kitchens with ingredients carefully sourced from trusted growers and producers around the world, with absolutely no harmful fillers or preservatives. With protein-first recipes like fresh beef with sweet potatoes, fresh turkey with blueberries, or fresh lamb with cranberries, you might start thinking, dang, my dog eats better than I do. And that's probably true when it comes to Ollie. Give your pup a fresh start this new year by letting them taste test a personalized meal plan with Ollie. Head to ollie.com/Wondery. Tell them all about your dog and use code WONDERY to get 60% off your first box of meals when you subscribe today. Plus, they offer a clean bowl guarantee on the first box. So if you're not completely satisfied, you'll get your money back. That's OLLIE.com/Wondery and enter code WONDERY to get 60% off your first box. Start your dog's new year off right with Ollie. Start your dog's new year off right with Ollie.
Creating really great retail experiences is tough, especially with multiple stores, teams of staff, fulfillment centers, separate workflows. It's a lot. But with Shopify Point of Sale, you can do it all without complexity. And let's face it, acquiring new customers is expensive. With Shopify POS, you can keep shoppers coming back with personalized experiences and first-party data that give marketing teams a competitive edge. In fact, it's proven, based on a report from EY, businesses on Shopify POS see real results, like 22% better total cost of ownership and benefits, equivalent to an 8.9% uplift in sales on average relative to the market set surveyed. Want more? Check out at shopify.com/Wondery. All lowercase, and learn how to create the best retail experiences without complexity. Shopify.com/Wondery.
So the prosecutors contend that that this was a jealousy thing, that Dale did this out of jealousy. Big fights over the footprints, okay? They made a plaster cast of the footprint. The defense challenged the validity of the footprint. First, there had been heavy rain during the period between when they disappeared and the discovery of the bodies. Also, civilian search parties had walked all over the riverbank for 3 days or 4 days. And but the state said that the print belonged to Dale. But the plaster cast was sent to the FBI laboratory in Washington along with Johnston's boot. Okay. The FBI evidence expert William Bodziak, he testifies at trial that in his opinion the boot did not match the plaster cast. So, yes. He also said that the casting was probably that of a barefoot print. Also, like a barefoot footprint.
That's
not
somebody's
a bear.
actual toes right there, not a Durango. Right.
Exactly. So very interesting. He sent the cast to Dr. Louise Robbins, a North Carolina anthropologist who's done study on the analysis of barefoot footprints, and she said that the casting was indeed that of a boot print, though. She disagrees. She said that the wear patterns shown in the casting were similar to the wear patterns she has observed on the tracking taken from the inside sole of Johnston's boot. So she says it's similar.
It's a boot,
so the
and
FBI,
it's something like his. Yeah.
She says it's his boot. The FBI says it's not even a boot; it's a fucking foot. If you're deciding this, to me, that's a wash.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I go, well, I'm not considering that evidence at all because there's
I
no
need it conclusive as
clarification.
fuck. I don't need it muddy and gray. This is not good.
Because it wasn't even a defense expert that the FBI guys that the prosecutors sent it to. He said it wasn't that. So, that's tough. They also said that the wear patterns from the inside of the brown suede shoes confiscated at the Johnston home were similar to those found in a pair of Annette's riding boots. So they're saying those are Annette's shoes, is what they said. The state will claim that Annette was wearing the brown shoes when she was murdered, and the defense contains that the shoes have only been worn by Sarah, not Annette. So there's a big deal with Michelle, the younger sister, okay? Yeah. She is his main alibi, Dale. And but she testifies that she heard Dale declare Annette is dead 10 days before her body was found.
Okay.
But when asked about it minutes later during the same testimony, she couldn't recall whether her stepfather made that statement or not.
Oh, she knows she heard it. Yeah.
She's undergone psychiatric evaluation. She's in therapy. She's in all these things. She's not doing well, and she's not remembering things on the stand. Mm-hmm. She's a 17-year-old whose sister got slaughtered and is being put under tremendous pressure on a fucking witness stand to either put her stepfather in jail, who her mother obviously doesn't want that to happen, or have people think that she let the killer of her sister go free. There's too much pressure on this kid for that. That's too much.
That's a 17-year-old. And this is probably her best friend.
Yeah. They have that from her. She also at one point says that Dale was with her that day. Then at the next time she says she's not sure. Then she's sure again. Then she's not sure. Again, what do you do with that? So then there's a hypnotized witness. The police, not on the stand, but they got his information from hypnosis. They used hypnosis to aid his memory here. This is Steve Ryan here. He said that Ryan's an employee of the Ohio Environmental Protection Agency. He said he saw the couple who he had met the week before walking along a Logan street that he was driving on October 4th. He said he saw a car stop abruptly at the curb next to the couple. He said a man got out of the car, ran around to Annette and Todd, cursed loudly, said, get in this fucking car. And the man grabbed Annette Johnson's shoulder and shoved her toward the car and grabbed Schultz and threatened him with his fist. Now, that's what they got out of hypnosis. Yeah. He said he initially withheld the description from the investigators and told them more than once a week that he had seen a man with shoulder-length brown hair and a mustache get out of the car, but the description of that was not mentioned during his trial testimony because that doesn't fit Johnston. Johnston has short gray hair and is balding. Okay. So his initial description doesn't match them. So the hypnosis, though, they made it match Dale.
Right.
So, yeah, that's a problem there. They ask for a mistrial after the hypnosis witness, but the judge allows it.
Yeah.
So there's also an investigator here. During cross-examination, this guy said he left the scene because he had become so badly disturbed by Logan investigators that, in his view, all the evidence collection value had been lost. This guy is an investigator with the Ohio Bureau for Criminal Identification and Investigation.
That's a very important title.
Better than Logan, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
So,
and he's not impressed with the collection of this. He's mad, actually.
No, he came to the burial scene and said he could only stay a few minutes because he was so disgusted with how badly they fucked it up. He said that he tried several times to pass leads about other possible suspects, too, that he found to the Logan Police Department, Detective James Thompson specifically, the lead investigator, but he said Thompson ignored all the information he gave him.
Thompson wants nothing to do with it. We've got a good suspect. We
got our guy.
One. Yeah.
Yep. He also said he walked out of Thompson's interrogation of Johnston because he disagreed with Thompson's methods. He said Thompson tried to get Johnston to explain bloodstains on his boots when there wasn't any bloodstains that this guy could see, and that Thompson charged that Johnston's hands were cut, but this guy said there was no cuts on his fucking hands. So his whole thing was, I have things that didn't actually happen, explain how they happened, and Dale went, that's not true, and that you're never going to get the guy to crack on that shit. You got to find pieces of truth that you can nail him with.
You're lying to him, which is legal and it's fine.
Yeah.
If he can't prove those lies just by looking at his own fucking hands.
Yeah. Yeah. Johnston. They also said that that Thompson told Johnston to confess to quell the fear that the murders have raised. Confess, it'll make everyone feel better. The defense to this whole thing isn't they have no evidence other than I'm a bad guy. The defense is it was devil worshippers that did it.
Oh, God, don't do that.
Yep. They have an expert who they subpoena but don't call as a witness. By the way, this is going to take the biggest left turn you've ever fucking seen in a minute here, so hang in there, everybody. Not that this isn't crazy and interesting, but holy shit, is there a big turn coming. So this guy says he was going to testify that the body parts were in 7 graves, a traditionally symbolic Satanist number. He said the graves and 2 blood patches form a rough circle. He said also the slayings occurred during the midnight of a new moon, which is an important cultist requirement. He said, quote, "It was obvious to me this was a satanic killing." And he said, they don't know where the blood is. I'm sure it's not just that they did it at the riverbank and it washed away in the river. He said that they must have drank the blood as part of the ritual.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah. He said that he didn't think Johnston killed his stepdaughter and her fiance, but that 5 or more of what he called dedicated, totally perverse Satanists did it.
Probably
That's
7.
what he said. Yep. Probably 7. It's a better number for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he said that's it. That's all there is to it, man. I mean, I don't know what the hell these people are doing. But they end up not calling him because Dale testifies himself. Yeah. And they thought Dale did well enough on the witness stand that they didn't have to call in the Satan guy. But a little more from the Satan guy here, by the way. This guy's a history teacher at Columbus South High School at the time. And he believes that a Satan worshiper shot them, left their bodies in the cornfield, went to gather other cult members so they could have a midnight ceremony, obviously.
Hey guys,
that's what
you do. Let's go.
Got to, yeah. They said they found only a small bit of blood, and he said that meant that obviously they'd been dismembered elsewhere and they drank their blood, clearly. Mm-hmm. He said that also the cross-shaped wound, 8 by 8 inches on Todd's chest, he said, quote, "Satanists make the cross symbol over the victim's gut or genital area." So he also said that smaller cuts were intended by the slayers as rays emanating from the cross. They were drawing a picture on him.
Yeah.
He said that the rays correspond to the stations of the satanic cross dedicated to the satanic trinity of Lucifer, Beelzebub, and Baal. So
they had to do the stations of the cross, man. It's Catholicism and devil worship. It's the same.
I mean, honestly, duh. You know, like now. So he tells the newspaper this. Then they start talking to Satanist groups who are going, hey, we're misunderstood.
Calm
Don't
down.
fucking blame us for this shit. Yeah. He said, they said, no, this is crazy. They said that it's not us that have animal participation, sacrifices and all this type of shit. They blamed criminals and motorcycle club members. Yeah. He said, that's who's really doing it, blaming it on us. And he says also, you're blaming us. That's all it is. He said it's twisted caricatures, and this is ridiculous, silly.
You got to look at the Mongols and the Vietnam vets.
Come on,
they
Jesus,
do this
obviously.
shit, not us.
Sonny Barger's the biggest Satanist ever. So Johnston on the stand admitted some type of sexual contact with Annette on one occasion when she was about 11. That's what he's willing to admit in open court. But he would not elaborate, and the prosecutors didn't make him go into detail on it somehow. They just let that float in the air.
What the fuck is happening?
They didn't go exactly what happened, asshole. Let's talk about that. So this goes to the jury, and they thought this is because there's no real evidence, obviously. Yeah. No physical evidence. Nobody's really seen them together. None of it matches other than the hypnotized guy. So they think that this is going to be like a long time of deliberations to come up with something. Yeah. But instead, they come back in 2.5 hours, the 3 judges.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. 3.5 or 2.5 hours, they say guilty of 2 counts of aggravated murder.
Wow.
Okay. Sentencing, same 3-panel judge panel as does the sentencing a couple of weeks later. You, sir, may fuck off. Death in the electric chair.
Death in the electric chair with that evidence?
With that evidence. Yeah, death in the electric chair.
He sucks, but holy shit, you guys.
Yeah,
calm down.
This is a tough one for us because
oh boy, I hate him.
You don't want to defend the admitted child molester. That's not who you want to defend. But at the same time,
oh boy.
I mean, you know, something, but it's not something. You know what I mean? It's like,
we are asking for death for child molesters, so I understand that whole side.
Yeah.
But that's not what he's charged with.
No. And now there's a new witness that comes out, by the way, after he's sentenced to death here. She said she heard what sounded like shots and a girl's scream coming from the cornfield. She said she didn't connect the screams to the death of the kids until after searchers found their torso. She said she saw a boy and a girl late afternoon, October 4th, 82, standing on the railroad tracks adjacent to the cornfield. She described the couple as a girl with blonde shoulder-length hair and a lanky youth with dark brown hair. That's the two. It's fits their description. They said they were closely followed. This is what she said, that the boy and girl were closely followed by a taller adult male, perhaps in his 40s. The man had dark hair, heavy brows, a prominent chin, and large ears. He was wearing dark-colored overalls and no eyeglasses. Now, this does not describe Dale at all. Dale wears glasses. He can't see shit without glasses. His hair is totally gray. It's not brown. He doesn't have none of that fits him. He has a very angular face. It doesn't work like that.
Very detrimental to their case.
Yeah, but he's already convicted. She said, I have seen the pictures in the paper of persons who testified at Dale Johnson's trial and have not recognized any of those pictures as being similar to the adult male on the railroad tracks. She said that the man appeared to be smirking and the girl seemed angry and stomped her foot. So we've heard that from a couple different people. So now he gets to death row, Dale. And here's a quote. When you arrive, they promise you a week or so of orientation. I was stripped, searched, and shoved into a cell. Then they slammed the door. That was my orientation to death row. That's the Dr. Dre out. Ka-clang, welcome to death row. And then the fucking Dre Day starts up. That's how that goes. That's the Chronic album. So he said that his cell had a bed bolted to the floor, thin mattress, pillow, a toilet, and a hand basin and mirror. He said, we spent an average of 23 hours and 37 minutes a day in our cells. He said he found comfort in his Bible, and he kept up on world events by reading 5 daily newspapers. So that's what he's doing there. No? Didn't say. I'm sure it's the Columbus, whatever, the fucking USA local Today. Is. Well, yeah, give me a USA Today. I need some color in here. He said that... He said he's critical of media reports that characterize him as a cold, callous man. He says the people who report stuff like that are full of prune juice.
You know what he means.
Wow.
You know what prune juice makes.
Yeah, it turns things into liquid poop, and that's you. He says, this is he says, quote, this experience has changed me forever. Well, no shit. You're on death row. So that's the... most obvious.
Is that right, sir?
Is that right? He said, for one thing, I have more compassion for others. My faith in the Lord is much stronger because of this, too. So
how about for children, you son of a bitch?
No. Not if I think they're hot. He does an interview with Columbus's WBNS TV as well, which doesn't seem like a good idea, but he does it. Does this whole interview. Now, Sarah Johnston, she does a lot of interviews, too. By the way, she divorces him when he gets sentenced to death. Yeah, divorces him.
You have to, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's for property transfer to keep it away from being, so he can't be sued, and I don't know what it is. But she's still on his side, though. She said, quote, he wants people to know that he didn't do it. He wants to be vindicated. He'll never be satisfied until he finds out who killed his little girl. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He said, he told me if they take me out tomorrow and shoot me, I'm ready to die. She said, Dale's in prison, but I'm in prison too. They've tried to push me to the edge. I don't think of it. I don't think about it. If I did, I'd go out of my gourd. So, out of her gourd. She said that she got a job at a school, she was going to a vocational school, and she was in the restroom and heard a young woman walk in, saw her, and turned around and left, yelling to someone else, don't go in there, that murderer's in there. That murderer's in there. She said, I've either gotten used to it or maybe I lie to myself a lot, but I try not to let things like that bother me. Now, Donald Schultz, Todd's father, said, I'd like to be there when they fry him. I'd get a great amount of satisfaction knowing that the last thing he saw was my smiling face.
Okay.
Yeah. But, there's some problems here, obviously. 1986, the appeal comes around, and they bring up it's not the lack of evidence, it's the fact that they ignored some of his, they wrongfully, illegally confiscated some of his clothes, and the fact that they let a hypnotized witness testify that was one of their main witnesses to tie him there. So the court orders a new trial. The state Supreme Court orders the conviction overturned and a new trial here. So he remains on death row waiting to hear what the prosecutors are going to do. They don't then put him in a regular prison. They keep him in death row. So he says, if they let me out, he goes, I'll be without anything. I got no family. I have nothing. I don't have any possessions. He said, all I'm left with is questions. The only thing I do know is that they weren't with me that night, and I didn't kill them. So he's sticking to it. He said, I believed in law and order all my life, but my belief's been shattered by what has been done to me in Hocking County. It was just a shabby cover-up, one falsehood after another. Everything I had, whether it was of value or not, is gone. They can't give me back the years of my life they've taken away from me. My daughter, my wife, our home, our horses, our style of life, none of it can be replaced. Mm-hmm. October 1989, the court has to decide what will we let in on a new trial. It's the pretrial stuff. They're not letting in the hypnotized stuff. They're not letting in any of the actual evidence that you could make a murder case out of. They have nothing. So May 11th, 1990, they have to let him out of jail. They have nothing. They can't charge him. They let him out. They don't dismiss the charges, though. They're still hanging. They just let him out. So he's like, holy shit, he gets out. And he says, the way I see it, I have an obligation to my friends, my family, and the people of Hocking County to use every legal means possible to find out who killed Annette and Todd. Okay. That's right. He said, I can't go home to Logan because that part of my life is over. I'm sort of drifting here and there, not putting down any roots. Oh, that's good to know. There's an admitted child molester drifting and not putting down any roots. Yeah. Just wandering around from elementary school to elementary school. The police who believed in me before still believe in me, and that keeps going. The people, not the police. My life has changed totally. Before all this happened, I was a semi-retired carpenter who worked when he felt like it. I had a family, riding horses, and a 53-acre farm in the most beautiful, restful spot on earth. But I've lost everything. I don't even have the tools of my trade, and without his tools and a truck, a carpenter can't do much carpentry. He says his friends are giving him financial aid, but he said it's hard. He goes, my entire life I've been a shy, private person. I minded my own business and expected others to do the same. God damn it. So, he said it's difficult and the whole thing's hard, and he's going to try to find the real killers. He said I was railroaded, pure and simple. The police and others needed a scapegoat so they could protect whoever it was who killed those kids. I was an outsider, not one of those good old boys who hung around the bars in town, so I was elected.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he said they all got together and got the pitchforks.
You belong in that prison, just not on that side.
Just that's in a different tier, that's all. In a different tier.
Son of a bitch.
So, he said that once the trial began, he realized that he'd be convicted. He said that's the way they are, the Hocking County officials are. They made a big mistake. They thought my conviction would end it. They thought when the trial was over, my attorney would shake my hand, tell me, sorry, Dale, but we did the best we could, and that would be that. But my attorneys didn't quit. We kept at it. And he said then my great-great-grandfather homesteaded in Hocking County, damn it, and I ain't goddamn it, I'm not going to no goddamn concern it and something going to make me leave no how. He did the Blazing Saddles.
Yeah.
Then he said he doesn't hold it against the people of Logan. He said a majority of them are good, decent, God-fearing people. They've been as much a victim of this whole thing as me and my family. You asshole. He's a bit of an asshole. So, he says it's still a semi-open murder case because a murder weapon has never been found. Only 15 to 20 weapons out of the thousands fit the category that was used in that murder. And the cop said it isn't like we work this case every day or anything like that, but if a lead develops, we'll check it out. So Dale says someday he knew he'd get out, though, which is crazy to think that. He said, though, I won't quit until the real killers are brought to trial.
He's going to lay on that, huh? He's going to hang there.
Yep. Now, Todd's parents said this doesn't change shit for them. They think he did it. Todd's father said, the one who wants to watch him die while smiling, said, I can't tell you how angry I am. I'm real mad at the system. It'd be very fitting if a garbage truck ran him over, but then I feel sorry for the truck driver.
Yeah, so I've been applying it all garbage details around here.
Todd's mom said, quote, I'm still in shock. I'm afraid to leave the house, not because of him, but because I'm afraid I'll run into somebody who thinks he's innocent. I just don't think I could take that. So she said, I saw him on TV last night, and he kept saying he wants to get out so he can find the real murderer. I guess they don't allow mirrors in prison. Sheriff said he's not innocent either. The sheriff said, this is bullshit. He goes, now Sheriff Jones here. He said, we had the right man, but due to a flaw in the law, he was released from jail. Not due to your shoddy police work. He said,
you had nothing.
He had nothing. 1994, finally, 12 years after this, Sandra Schultz, too, this is right after that, 12 years after the murder, she said, I have a feeling God is ruling here. We know Dale, oh no, this is Sandra Schultz. We know Dale killed them, and even though justice may not come in this life, it will come. It will come. And Dale says the same thing. He says, I just want justice. I want to clear my family name. Now, they introduce another killer into this scene, a guy named William Wickline. 2 months before the bodies of our people here, Annette and Todd, were discovered, Wickline murdered a young Columbus couple, Chris and Peggy Lurch. Chris Lurch had ripped off Wickline in a drug deal, and Peggy Lurch was killed to eliminate a witness. Wickline is on death row at this point, and they're trying to connect him to these killings as well, but they don't have any evidence, obviously. All they know is that he robbed a drugstore about 20 miles from Logan once, so maybe that's why. Oh. So that's 1994. 14 years go by.
Oh, my God. What was that, 2008?
2008. Remember Kenny Linscott?
Yeah.
The guy by the cornfield calling, going, the lurker who called and said, any progress?
Found anybody? Yeah.
Well, he's talking to his probation officer, and his probation officer starts prodding him about a couple of things, and he says, we killed the kids. He admits to the whole thing.
What?
Yep. He is arrested.
Who's we?
And he said it was me, who, by the way, Linscott's 47 at the time. He was 21 at the time of the murder. He said it was me and Chester W. McKnight, known to friends and police alike as, quote, Chester the Molester.
Stop it.
Oh, yeah. Chester the Molester is around, and they don't talk to him. He was 24 in 82.
Uh-huh.
Let me give you a quote from Chester here. Quote,
oh, boy.
I was born March 2nd, 1958. This is about his dad. And he left in April something of 1958, so he didn't stick around too long after I was born. So, I never knew my dad. I seen him once in my whole life, and I was at the Lebanon Correctional Institution, and I was 33 years old, and he expected me to call him dad. And I told him, look, I don't need a daddy. I was doing 6 to 15 years in prison, and I don't need a dad. Oh, boy. Now, his neighbors remember him as more, when he was a kid, like a goofy kid. He's just a goofy kid. He'd fall down all the time. One of his neighbors called him, quote, Chester was a short, fat, jolly boy. Maybe he was a little stupid, but he laughed a lot. A short, fat, stupid boy.
A short, fat dum-dum.
Yep. But he started drinking when he was a kid. He got arrested for underage drinking. And he said, I was just going along with the teens to be their designated driver. I wasn't drinking. He was lazy all the time, according to his ex-wife. Usually he'd just lay on the couch and watch TV. I couldn't ever even get him to mow the damn lawn.
Jesus, fuck.
He started doing a lot of drugs and shit like that. She said that as his usage increased, his mood swings would be terrible. They said practically anything could trigger his outbursts, which included cursing, shrieking, throwing objects around the house. She did say she never did hit me, though, which... I don't know. That's interesting.
He's a very unstable fella.
Yeah. She says when he was on drugs, he was happy, but when he was off, he was a holy terror. Now, he's got convictions over the last 30 years. Well, let's see here. Abduction, felonious assault, importuning, whatever the fuck that is, attempted unlawful sexual contact with a minor, pandering obscenities involving minors, pandering sexual materials involving minors.
Oh, boy. All of that and making an RSX faster?
No shit. Importune. Thank you. November 3rd, 1983, Chester commits, this is why this is very similar. He pulled a knife on a college girl who was walking the railroad tracks in Nelsonville, pulled her down the railroad embankment intending to rape her. However, she was quick and escaped and ran away and identified him. He couldn't. He's a short, fat, jolly guy. Couldn't catch up to her. He had to pick someone on the track team. Right. Yeah, he had to pick someone on the track team because he's a dum-dum. So he pleaded guilty to a charge of abduction, and in 84 was sentenced to 3 to 15 years in prison. However, he qualified for shock probation and was released after serving 6 months of his sentence. His 5-year term of parole was terminated in 2.
What the fuck?
Yep, his probation officer said he no longer needed supervision. He was good now. So
6 months?
Yep. Then September 12th, 86, a 19-year-old female student at Hocking College in Nelsonville was taking a shortcut by walking the tracks to campus on her way to a final exam, and she passed a short man standing near the trestle bridge where the tracks go through a city park. You know, a troll.
Right.
They exchanged a greeting, and even though they didn't know each other, she said hi, he said hi. After she passed him, she started to walk faster and heard his footsteps. Then she heard the words, "Say goodnight, baby," and Chester swung a tire iron and struck her in the head.
Oh, my God.
But she had turned around, and the blow didn't completely knock her out because it kind of caught her on the top of the head. Chester grabbed her arm, but she was able to pull away and escape. She went to the hospital, reported it, and a week later, he ends up being arrested with charged with felonious assault. He said, "Well, Your Honor, I'm sorry this had to happen. I just lost it." Which, I'm drug dependent anyway. Seems like I can't go a day without, anything. I have blackouts, When I get so high, things, I just lose track.
Oh, boy.
Now, they get him in there and they go, "Hey, Chester, did you kill these kids?" And he went, "I did. Yep, I did it."
Oh,
That's
my
right.
God.
Yep. He said a heavy weight has been lifted from his shoulders by this.
Is that right?
Yep. The cops said they were skeptical because, they can't be wrong, obviously. But then the Hocking County Sheriff's Office said, quote, "He came in and talked to me for a little while, and he kind of had doubt and everything, and I told him to call the sheriff's office and see if there was a double murder, and they found 2 victims in the cornfield and in the Hocking River. So he did and came back and said, they'll be up to see you Monday, and when I did that, it was just a 1,000,000-pound weight lifted off my shoulders and everything. It was just a whole different feeling."
Wow, he just wanted to tell.
Yeah, they said, "Well, why didn't you come forward till 26 years later?" He said, "A lot of soul searching mostly, tired of running and hiding, and, an innocent man was still being blamed for the whole thing, and I felt that, it was time to come forward." I mean, innocent of that.
Yeah.
So they said that what ended up happening was Cooper, that's her, whatever, Johnston, Annette, and Todd visited the home of Kenneth Linscott to buy some weed, is his story. And his family was just very angry that anyone says that he was going to buy weed, but that's what everybody says, and he's a 19-year-old kid. Who cares? It was 40 years ago.
Who gives a shit?
So
Right.
Who cares? Yeah, it doesn't matter. It wasn't doing anything that wrong. It's stupid. So they said that McKnight was also inside the home, and another guy named Kevin Tex Myers, who has been died since then. They were all there. I guess Tex Myers had been making sexual advances toward Annette.
God damn it.
Now, the couple seemed to have been at, I guess they left the house under the pretext of partying with Linscott and Chester McKnight. McKnight, though, the whole time had planned to rape Cooper and kill Todd if Todd objected to it, or rape Annette.
He's already in.
He's like, I'm gonna rape her, and if he has a problem with it, I'll just kill him. So he said that it was a party, is what he said that day. He said every day was a party day. This is Chester. He said, I knew he got high. I knew he drank. Who didn't? Talking about Todd. He said, it was like me going over there to see what was going on, to go to the party house, and there were a few people there drinking, smoking, so I just joined in. I went in and started to party with them, and everything just started working out real well. He said, though, Tex there was spoiling the atmosphere. So he kept trying to come on to Annette. So Chester, the molester, said in an attempt at gallantry and in an attempt of impressing Annette, he said that he told this guy to stop. But I guess Tex wouldn't stop, so Chester pulled out a .22 and put it to Tex's head. At that point, Tex took off. He left. Okay? He's had a gun put to his head. So the 4 of them, McKnight, Linscott, Annette, and Todd, go down to the river to party and smoke weed. McKnight will say, Chester the molester will say, then one thing led to another, and so they wanted to go party by the riverbank, and one thing led to the other. He said that he made sexual advances toward Annette, which made Todd angry, quote, and then things got out of hand. Mm-hmm. Here's his quotes of the whole thing. I just finished my beer. This is about Tex, too, how he confronts Tex. I just finished my beer, and so I thought that I would go into the kitchen and fix me a double shot of Jack and a beer. I mean, when you're done with your beer, you got to have a reload here.
A double and a beer.
Yeah, he said he saw Tex and Annette and they seemed to be arguing. He said he thought he had ties to Annette, but on the day it happened, he was over at Kenny's, and that after a while I was watching him slither around like the bug that he was, talking about Tex. That's how he describes it. He said when Tex looked in at Annette, the lust was obvious. He said, quote, I seen his eyes get that gleam in him and like he wanted to hurt her. So he said he asked if there was a problem. Chester said that Annette maybe should leave, and she did. Tex got mad, threatened Chester. Chester said that you're going to pay for what you did, and Chester pulls out his gun, puts it to his head, and he says, you want to see how this works? Get lost. And he also says, quote, I was ready to put him down because I was trying to impress her by taking up for her. Mm-hmm. Now, as they started to leave, Todd and Annette, Chester said, you want to party a little more? Todd said, sure. Annette was like, not really, but she said, okay. So they walked down the embankment. She's behind them, looking a little pissed off. Yep. So they left. Kenny called back, Lynn Scott called back to whoever else lives there and said, we're taking off to get more beer. And that's his wife. And he said, I couldn't figure out why they were walking to get beer. There wasn't any place to buy beer within walking distance, but there was a car in the parking space. Why didn't they just take the car? So they walk down the alley. They do all of that type of shit. They stop in the tracks to light up a joint, but I guess something made Chester stop. He says, we was just going to party some more. I mean, there were some people out there in the backyards and stuff, and, we just didn't want to be seen. Okay. So they went to the cornfield. They'd have more privacy, is what they said. Mm-hmm. Chester tried to keep it going. He said, quote, I was sitting around kind of teasing Annette how cute she was. And, after all, we smoked a couple of joints. I asked Annette if maybe she was looking for some fun. When she said no, that's when I tried to make her feel guilty about me saving her from Tex. Like, you owe me.
I deserve a blowjob in front of your boyfriend because I just stopped a man from flirting with you.
He said, wow. What? He said, we was just talking, joking around, and then the joking started getting serious, and that's when it started getting more hectic. Now, he said that his idea was to pull a train. He wanted everybody should fucking that, is what he said. So Todd got angry and said no, and I guess Todd tried to physically stick up for Annette and say, get the fuck away from me, and tried to kind of start a party. And Chester said, quote, I just said to hell with it. I pulled the gun out and shot him, and she started screaming, so I shot her.
Oh my God.
He said, I guess I can say the drugs and alcohol kind of did the thinking for me. I just kind of flew off the handle. I always carried a gun, a .22 caliber. He said that Todd was shot 6 times, and then Annette was shot as well. Chester, they decided they couldn't leave the 2 dead bodies there, so they went back to the house to get some tools. Then they dragged the corpses through the cornfield. Holy shit. They then stripped them so they could dismember them, though not before Chester masturbated over Annette's dead body.
What in the hell?
Of course. Yeah, why not? He called it a rush from seeing her body. He said, quote, this is disgusting. Quote, it was really a waste of a good piece of meat, is what he said.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah. He said the action to dismember, he goes, that wasn't because I wanted to dismember him. I just wanted it to be harder to find the bodies. He said also, though, quote, I didn't just kill them, but I took it to the steps of a madman. I butchered them. That's what he said.
You jerked off over a child, man.
No, she's an adult at that point, but a dead adult. I don't care if she's 80. She's a fucking adult. She's a dead. It doesn't matter it's gross. Yeah, she's still a child in my mind too. So he said Kenny held the limbs while Chester cut them off. They tossed the torsos in the river. There were more cutting wounds on Todd's body than Annette's. Part of that was due to the difficulty in carving him up. He said, quote, I was getting tired. That's what he said. He said, though, he was especially angry at Todd because if Todd had just been more accommodating, maybe they could have all had some sex and nobody would have had to die. That's what he said. Yeah. Then
I am shocked.
He cut off Todd's penis and stuffed it in Annette's mouth as well, just because he thought that was funny.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. He said when it was over, it was over. He left the area, left all of that. He told Kenny to take care of the rest. He claims not to know how the bodies became buried in the cornfield. He said Kenny just fucking did it all himself. Yeah.
I would hate him so much if he left me with that kind of job to do.
Then he said, quote, this is Chester the molester. I've been thinking about that ever since it happened. Really, it was on a whim. They said, is this because you was like a humiliation thing with women? They're trying to find the psychological thing. And he said, it's possible. You know, we can all speculate.
Who knows? I'm crazy.
I'm just kind of wacky. So he was serving a prison sentence for unrelated convictions anyway. So he's indicted on 4 counts of aggravated murder, 2 for each victim. 2 of the counts allege that the murders were committed with prior calculation and design, while 2 were committing or attempting to commit rape as well. So he's got this is a disaster at this point in time.
Yeah.
So the court comes up. He pleads guilty. Chester does, says what he does. Yeah. You, sir, may fuck off 2 life sentences.
Hey, stick around a while.
Lynn Scott pleads guilty to, because he testifies against Chester. He was the catalyst for all this. He pleads guilty to abuse of a corpse.
What?
He is released from jail in less than 10 months.
Holy shit.
Less than 10 months. Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh my God. He's just as I mean, they don't solve this without him, so I get it. But Jesus fuck, at least maybe 5 years? 10 years? What do you
10 man.
Months.
10 months. Wait, 10 years, 12 to 15, something. Nope. Chester in prison said that, he regrets it. He said, quote, I would have never come forth if I didn't. I would have just left it the way it was because my out date was 2017. So he's like, I was almost out of prison. He said, he said, hearing about the pain and suffering he caused really wears on him. He said, matter of fact, the whole city of Logan was really up in arms. They didn't know what was going on. Matter of fact, they changed Halloween, you know? It's nothing to laugh about. And I'm 54 years old and I caused a lot of shit. Yes, I did. And it's time to put it all to rest. You know, I can't bring back the 2 victims. Only thing I can do is bide my time being incarcerated. I apologize to the Schultz family, and I apologize to Dale Johnston and his wife and everything, but I'm just glad they didn't request the death penalty like the citizens of Logan's did Dale, because I was expecting to go to the trial and for them to not even try to make a plea bargain. My attorneys talked to the prosecutors, and the prosecutors talked to the Todd family and everything, and I just thank God they didn't treat me like the people of Logan treated Dale for this. That's because they don't have any evidence except him talking, and if he stops talking, they have no other corroborating evidence, so... You take a plea, and they're happy to get the plea out of him. So, holy shit. He said, wow, this is wild. Quote, I was just like a cloud floating in the sky, but now I want to be a cloud floating in the sky. Now I want to be known as a person that shows respect, you know, and I also get respect from the corrections officers and other inmates. They've got other things to worry about than me causing trouble or anything, because a dorm holds 126 people, and you know, I look at it this way. If I could just stay out of the way, that's one less person that they've got to worry about. He said he's trying to be a positive influence on younger inmates. He said, it's like this. I tell them, I've done ruined my life. That's what he says. They don't need to go out and do the same stuff, hang out with the people they hung around. It's time to change friends. It's time to change locations, and they have to and everything, because this place ain't it. This ain't the place to be. No shit, it's prison. Not the place to be.
Holy hell, what is wrong with this guy?
He said, my life was a disaster. I've been drinking since 9. He said, like my grandfather always said, I always just pissed in the wind. Pissing in the wind. That's a different Bob Seger song. Piss in the wind. Piss in the wind.
Every hillbilly colloquialism, he's got them all.
Yeah, absolutely, he does. He said, I had an uncle when I was growing up who always told me I was never going to amount to nothing. I guess he's right. He is up for parole in 2037 when he's 79 years old. When he's 79, but he says he knows he's not getting out for this.
There's
he
no
said,
way.
quote,
no.
Don't worry, I'm not getting out. I probably won't even make it, but I mean, you know, I've been in and out of prison most of my life, and it's just like my attorney told the Columbus Dispatch, I'll end up dying in here.
Yeah, you carved up 2 children, you son of a bitch. You what the fuck, man?
Dude,
I mean, the good news is he did expose a child molester to an entire community.
That's true, but the problem is he's made us root for a child molester.
Yeah, you're worse.
I don't care for that.
You're worse than an actual murderer.
I just don't care for that, sir. I'll be real fucking honest with you here. So it's never mind.
Me too.
Yeah, I don't care what you've done to the rest of the world. I don't like what you've turned us into. Not cool.
You made me feel bad for a man who hurts children. You son of a bitch.
Oh, God damn it! Because it's like, well, I mean, he didn't cut their arms off. I guess. Like, what a
right.
Jesus, the parsing you have to do when dealing with cases like this. You know, what I mean?
Left children alive to go deal with the cause damage that he's doing, but he's still a piece of shit.
No shit. So, in 2013, Kenneth Linscott dies. So good. Yeah. He died at the
free man.
Oh, free man, Hocking County Valley Community Hospital. The word prison isn't in there anywhere. So,
right.
Yep. The author of the book, by the way, the book that I was reading some parts of, especially the description of the murder, talking to Chester, that's a lot out of the book. That is called Guilty by Popular Demand, and it's by Bill Osinski. So Bill Osinski there. Bill Osinski, the author, said it's a shame that Linscott took his lies to the graves with him. Because he said that he seemed to pride himself on beating the system with some good reason. He got away with murder for more than 25 years.
Sure did, yeah.
And then did 6 months and got out.
Right.
So now Johnston wants to sue the state for being on death row for years at this point. And this is the assistant attorney general saying, quote, Johnston already unsuccessfully brought a wrongful imprisonment action arising out of his criminal convictions. This case seeks a do-over, and Johnston's attorney calls it a monstrous inequity that happened that we need to correct. Johnston was wrongfully imprisoned, and that it's necessary to preserve the reputation for justice that the Ohio courts have elsewhere earned. That's what they said. Okay. So he's working around as a construction worker and later as a handyman. And by this point, he's in his 80s. In 2010s, he was living quietly with his new wife, Roberta, on a 2-acre plot. He has a big garden. He said, if I'm able to get everything that the state says I'm allowed to have, that's still an insult when you figure what I lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, you also diddled a kid, so more than that. So
you probably should have been in prison for a while anyhow.
That's the thing. They should have gone. Well, I mean, you should get a few bucks for serving it on death row and not in prison. But they should have said, that amount of time in prison is about right for fucking a kid. What do you think, Dale? Well, what do you say we make a deal and call it even on that?
Remember when you molested a child, you bastard?
So 2020, and by the way, the governor in 2017 kept trying to fight wrongfully imprisoned people getting money. They was not up for that at all. It's like, no, if you put someone away for years, you owe them something. I'm sorry. That's just that's crazy.
Ruin an
scumbag or
person, not. That's not okay.
You got to get that shit right. Yeah, you got to get that shit right. And you know what the motivation for getting it right is? Getting sued for millions of dollars is the way you go. Let's get this shit right.
That's a check and a balance.
That's both of those. A check to balance your shit. Now, in 2020, this Ohio, there's a fund that gives out money to exonerated people. In 2020, they gave out more than $4.8 million to 8 exonerated Ohioans who collectively served 87 years in prison.
Wow.
Dale Johnston, who served obviously 6 years on death row and then more time in prison, he got $775,000 in 2020.
4 to 8. He got the lion's share. He got a bulk of the money.
Yeah, I think because he was on death row, probably. That's
okay,
it was only 8 of them, so 8 times it's close. Yeah,
that'd be $500,000 per.
Death row gets you a couple extra bucks, probably. Yeah, so Chester the molester, from what I can understand, is still in jail and still alive. Yeah. Kenny's dead. Tex Myers is dead, the guy who tried to rape Annette initially. Dale, I couldn't find an obituary for him, but he was 48 in 1982. So that would make him a solid 90 right now, or an 89, 90 years old.
80,
89.
Right?
No, he was 42. That was 40 years ago.
42.
Oh, so 80.
89?
Yeah, that would make him. So that would make him
80 years old.
82 years old. So from what I understand, he's still alive. I haven't been able to find an obituary for him. So
$800,000 for an 80-year-old man is pretty good money. He's probably going to last a while.
That's not too shabby. He can put that into it. I don't know whatever happened to Michelle. I do know that the younger sister, I do know that Sarah, Annette's mother, was eventually, I don't know for how long, but she ended up in a psychiatric institution for a while.
About that, yeah.
Kids killed, husband put in jail, this, that. Everybody, she can't go to the bathroom without people going, don't go in there, that murderer's in there.
Her. Yeah.
Meanwhile, she lost her kid, which is terrible, but she also acknowledged over time that she said the cops told her that, hey, you're still on the line for a bunch of shit, so don't fuck with us because you're on the hook for a bunch of, you covered up his molesting and you're a part of this and that. So, hey, don't make us come for you. So either way, that is why we had to go back to Logan, Ohio. We rarely do it, but that's why we had to go back to it because have you heard a crazier story recently?
No.
I mean, that is bonkers. No. So that was worth going back to Logan for.
Yep.
So if you enjoyed that story, you need to do something helpful for us, or you don't have to, but it would be nice if you did. It helps out the show tremendously if you go to whatever app you're listening on, give us 5 stars, say something nice. It doesn't matter what the hell you say.
Yeah.
Jimmie, what should they tell us? Anything. What should they tell us?
Oh, boy. You do tell us your least, the organization you support the least. No, don't do that.
No, because then we're going to have, it'll get political. We don't want people fighting.
Tell me your favorite brand of bottled water.
There you go. That's a good one. Yeah, I was going to say breakfast cereal, but we'll go with
Eternal.
bottled water. Yeah, there you go. So tell us, it doesn't matter what you do. It helps out the show a lot. You can follow us on social media and get all the updates for everything. We are at Small Town Murder on Instagram, at Small Town Pod on Facebook, at Murder Small on Twitter is where you do all of those. You can also certainly head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Get your tickets to live shows, baby. Holy shit, they are coming. Live shows everywhere. The whole 2023 is now on sale, and they're going fast. There's a show in November that's already sold out at the Wilbur in Boston. It's a big theater, and it's sold out already. Salt Lake City sold out. So get your tickets, Chicago. Get your tickets, Denver, Atlanta, Charlotte. We're coming over to Charlotte. Jesus Christ. Get your tickets, everybody. San Diego, they're going fast too, San Diego and Denver. They're all going fast. And make sure to get your tickets for March 23rd and 4th in Seattle, March 25th, 2 shows in Portland. Also, we have, in the beginning of May, obviously, we have Pittsburgh and Detroit coming up as well. So get your tickets there. We are excited to do that. And also, you can't make it to a live show. Maybe you're in Australia. Maybe you're just in, New Orleans, or so you can't get to a live show.
Thing for you.
We have just the thing for you, or you want more, damn it. We have the virtual live show, 4/20, April the 20th, virtual live show, just like a regular live show, but you're in your living room, and we're doing our thing with the pictures just like you'd see in a theater, and we're going to perform for you, and you can have it for a week after that. It's available April 20th. I'm going to get Jimmie super stoned for 4/20. Make him laugh like crazy. And then we are going to, you can order that for a week afterwards. It's available for a week. So enjoy that thing. We can't wait. Shutupandgivememurder.com is where you get that. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all your bonus materials.
Oh, boy.
And we got a ton of them. $5 or a month, $5 a month or above gets you the whole back catalog of bonus shit, hundreds of episodes, in addition to 2 new episodes every other week. 1 crime and sports, 1 small town murder, and you get it all, damn it. This week, for crime and sports, we're going to talk about something just very fun. Think your team sucks? Jimmie's a Broncos fan. It was a bad year for them last year. Well, they weren't nearly
too much for a man.
Not nearly as bad as the 76 and 77 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who started out their franchise going 0-26. And it's a mess. We'll find out. Why'd you pick creamsicle-looking uniforms? Why'd you pick some dude winking at me? And like, what's going on here? What were you thinking? How did this disaster happen?
People on the side of your helmet.
Jesus, the Lost Village person's on there. We have all of that and more for that episode. Then, for Small Town Murder, we're going to talk about something that's been requested so much. Jodi Arias. And we both lived in Phoenix when that happened, so we got an ass full of it. I've read several books on it and have tons of details of exactly how big of a fucking liar she is. It's amazing. She's an annoying liar, too. She'll be like, I don't know what you're talking about. And it's like, you do. You just said it. So, yeah. So we'll talk about Jodi Arias and the murder that she committed and everything like that. That is patreon.com/crime and sports. And you will also get a shout out at the end of the show. Just in 1 second, though, because first we also want to say, yes, Your Stupid Opinions is coming out. Thank you. People have been asking us. We appreciate you asking us because we want you to be into it. Yeah. It is coming out. We had some business stuff to take care of, and we have a couple other things we're working on that we had to get everything under control before we could start a new entity here. So it's coming in the next few weeks at some point. We'll definitely let you know a couple weeks out when it's coming out exactly, and all that kind of thing. So Your Stupid Opinions, keep an eye out there. That said, Jimmy, hit me with the names of the people who are so goddamn fantastic that even if they got away with it, they would admit to a murder 26 years later, just to clear the air. Jimmy, hit me with the list right now.
This week's executive producers are Vanessa Gill. Happy birthday, Vanessa. We'll see you in San Diego. That'll be great. I can't wait. Vanera Bunn? Vanera Bunn? Bunn?
That's a cool name.
Maybe her last name's Boone. Who knows? Kelly Folsom. Pan shuts up for murder Nolden. Nick Pfeiffer. And Jason Lumley. Thank you guys so much for everything. You're truly wonderful people.
Honestly, thank you.
Other producers this week are Principal Woodman, Larry Bird's Dumb Mustache, WWE all-time great The Shockmaster, and Hoss Funk. Also, I guess he's the best Funk.
That's Dory Funk. Dory Funk Jr. right there.
He's fantastic. That's what he is.
Hoss Funk.
Brandy Huntley, brother. Peyton Meadows, David Barnhart, Quinn Lawson's girlfriend Isabel, happy birthday. Christy Green, Trey Vulcan, our Trey. Holy shit, it's been a minute since we've seen you. Eros Whiskey and Tequila at Centennial Kennels in Ontario, I believe. Janice Hill, Alan Hunkin, Matt Britt, and the Crime and Sports and Small Town Murder Fantasy Facebook? No, football. What? Grew.
Fantasy Football Facebook League.
How did FB turn into Facebook in my head forever now? It's over. It's never going to be football.
Yeah, that's football. Yeah.
Tara Bates, I wrote down FFB to remind myself what that is, and so it's the Fantasy Facebook group now. Lola Godiva, happy birthday, Lola. Ricky Stork, Joshua Espinoza. Lauren Adams, Larry Polston Jr., Voldemort's Nipple, Matt Bennett, Julissa Peraza, Trisha Diamond, Laura Cahill, John Wernke, Catherine Palmer, Holly Veriali. I don't know if that's right. Nicole Johnson, Sarah Corsel, Shauna Goodwin, Haley Johnson, Andy with no last name, Jessica with no last name, Jessica Bertolewski. Yep. Cody Murray, Clay Paisley, The Blind Mamba, Rachel Davis, Sarah Jane Guidry. It's probably Guidry. It's spelled like Guido with dry at the end.
Like Guidry, like Ron Guidry.
Oh, Guidry. Sarah, that's what it is. Diana Nikolova. Diana Nikolova. Tuesday Coleman. Yeah. What? That's not right. That's probably it. Maybe it is. Makora Aguirre? Morgan. Unreal. I question myself. Morgan Aguirre or Aguirre? I'm not sure. Luke Pearson, Ellie with no last name, Wendy Wood, Yep X, Lori Simmons, Amanda Hodges, Aaron Fillenwarth, Jordan Kennedy, Mary Bomey maybe? I don't know. Sherry with no last name, Jesse Schmidt, Julie Hawkins, Chase and Paige Collins, Amanda Shaw, Kimberly Smith, Guilame Kazanave, Kelly H, Brian Merg, Sean Callahan, Daniel Perez, Justin Roth, Heather Coxis, Cochizes. I don't know. Jennifer Porter, Brandy Humphrey, what? Smeezy with no Smeezy, no last name. Jonathan, nope, that's
Muffrey.
Just John. John Collimer, Paul Terracefield, Catherine Patriciasa, Paterica, Cheryl Olson.
Yeah, that.
Matt Borland, Julie Ritchie, Shayla Arns, David Dugan, Brianna with no last name, Katie Hines, Dwayne Green, Craig Well, Tasha with no last name, Selena Mamel Jones, Peyton Tankersley, Lacey Lassiter, Timothy Oman, Sean Peckham, Stacy Costello, David Oliver, Amanda Heredia, Spencer 2445, 2745. I can't even read numbers, James. What's the point of this? Casey Comp, Kayla
get names right. Jesus.
Bill Lewis, Megan Pashen, Melanie Humphrey, Akiko Abe, Amber with no last name, Kyle Lupo, Dylan with no last name, Weston Morris, Crystal with no last name, Lisa Sia Strand, Toe Jam is my jam, Jennifer Ciccolini, Ciccolini.
Yeah? You got that?
Ciccolini, Chico. Georgianne with no last name, Danielle Wright, Jerome Becker, Andrea Ostrander, Stephanie Adams, Brandy Darr, Christy Watson, Monica with no last name, Kendra Davis, Suede 31, Brittany with no last name, Ryan Schlichting, King Flippy Nips, what? Lee with no last name, Marie Sangster, Supercalifragilistic, that one, you know the word, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I think I can say that. No, I can't.
Perfect.
Amy Colossal, Moo Cow 8, Christine Lake, Kaylani Bowers, Carl Deadman, Kendra Lynch, Carolyn Hafner, James DeRamus, Ryan Wolstein, Matt Roselle, Gretchen W., Phil Gibson, Tony Twitty, Brent Denardi, Ashley Skinner, Kate Armstrong, Nat Southwick, Brian Buren, Ye Crust Modifier. Okay. Linda Pinnock, Chris with no last name, Devin McLaughlin, Melissa Healy, Mariah Hill, Ryan Bestful, Christine and Tom Prybut, Harry Ware, Tybalt with no last name. What is that? Tybalt and also Prybot? Is that right? David Carroll.
I don't know.
One Dumb Ho. All right. Beth Joy, Danielle Durkin, Shayna Wellhouse, Vic DeMayo, Gigi with no last name, Jennifer Samler, Bridget Adlin, Aaron Elise Bartson, Wes with no last name, Michael Crongier, Shannon Stores, regular sized mom, Silver Roses 66, Oscar Hernandez, Hello Magpie, Jesse Coombs, Shelby with no last name, Molly McGrath, Mike Driscoll, Nick Young, Amanda F., Ashley Johnson, Heidi Amendola, Rosalie Willard, Ryan Stacy, Gene it's Gene Peterson, Randy Morgan, Polly Butterfield, Brad Gross, Dwayne Pryor, Dimity Brown, Luis Lopez, Luis maybe, Sarah in Spain, Chris Spall, Amanda Richmond, Jennifer with no last name, Janelle Green, and all of our patrons. You guys are fantastic.
Thank you, everybody, so much for all that you do for us and everything like that. We can't do it without you. Thank you for everything. Thanks for your donations. Thanks for listening. Thanks for telling people, sharing it, doing all that shit. All that means a lot to a podcast. So thank you for doing that. You want to follow us on social media? Super easy to do that. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. There is links to any possible thing you could want to know about this show. All right there. Get in there. Follow us. Do that. But keep coming back because we'll keep coming back.
Oh, yeah.
And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them. Or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer. I can really show you how to make some money. And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you, the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a microcity built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.